those corrective questions. The first one was on outstanding loans, whether there was interest or not. I think I don't want to lie to the committee that there was interest. I think I need to check with the bank. Then I can maybe submit the information through our colleagues from Auditor General if there was at all an interest. But I'm being whispered here that there was no interest accrued. At the time, there was that delay in the disbursement of loans. Then the figure changed. 503, 498. I think it's the same. I'll combine with Honorable Mtelo's question just to answer this question. Yes, Chair. You may wish to know that the Council in the period under review was implementing 25 projects, well executed. Of course, this particular one, there was that error. The beauty about it is that the acceptance of the contract which the contractor had was the same figure of 498. And even when we amended, we had no issues. And as you can see here, the government or council never lost any single way. So that is but we want to regret that, yes, this happened, an error. We are just human. We will do our level best. But I want to admit that, yes, this should not happen again. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Nyam. Okay, follow up Honorable Singomba and then Honorable Mteo before we get to the new set. It's a follow-up.
Chair, okay. Yeah, Chair, thank you very much. TC, you are not sure. Would you kindly tell me in which account was this money sitting? Because I want to believe that there are different accounts. And certain accounts accrue interest when you put money there. So I want to have a very clear answer on this one.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Maybe before you respond, let's have another follow-up. Honorable Mtero, Honorable Nyambose.
Just to start with that one. Like you have indicated to say, we would need to have the proof of whether there was an interest accrued or not. That proof is needed, like yesterday, not the whispering proof. Sir, not the whispering proof. You are making your committee to think that you do give contractors different figures, and possibly when you are quit, you get the difference. Are you with me, sir? The contractor, you say 400. You and your team 500. The difference remains with you. Still clarify. I know you are shaking your head, but this is what is there. No wonder you are regretting, isn't it? Or do you regret for nothing?
Honorable Nyambose.
Thank you once again, Chair, for giving me to ask a follow-up question. Mine also, the follow-up is only from where Honorable Mishek Mtelo. I will read this, Chair, and I want to, I'm also not cleared on the difference in the figures. They are saying that they gave the contractor, the contract that is signed was 498,109.50. And the typographical error or arithmetic check in the BOQ came out as 502,509, and the other one mentioned also is 503,738. According to the report here, a typographical error led to the appearance of 503,738 in the contract document. Chair, what appeared in the contract document was 503,738. This is a statement from the report. And further it goes to say, this resulted in calculating of the wrong IPCs, which is supposed to be 50% paid at completion of work and the other 50% at the expiry of the defect liability period. This I'm just extracting from the report, that this is what led to this. It resulted to wrong IPCs. Now, my question goes back to what Honorable Mtero said. At which point did you realize this? Is it at the point when auditors came and they realized that you had prepared wrong IPCs? Or you knew your contract agreement with the contractor? Which is which? May we have evidence to say this was the wrong one and this one is what the contractor said? I have not seen the evidence in this report, Chair. I've perused through the appendices. Nothing I've seen.
Thank you very much. Town Clerk?
Thank you very much. I'll start with a question from our Honorable Leader for the revolving fund. I think I want to say that...
just a minute, Town Clerk. I invite the auditor to make a comment on the same before you respond. Is it the same one we're talking about? All right, okay, then hold on. Please, Karen.
I was responding, Chair, to say I think there was a question which was asked to say, where was this money sitting for the loans, which account? I want to indicate that once monies are received for CDF to our constituency, we actually have a revolving account where we transfer the money for the loans into that particular account. As to what interest accrue, that's why I'm saying I can't mislead the committee. I think I need to get more details from the bank. I can avail that information. Then I think we've been also reminded that at which point did we realize that the contract was had two figures, the 498 and 5. Yes, Chair, like I said, we actually erred in terms of the whole contract document. I think the cover is the one which had the contract sum, which was 502. But the good part is that the contractor had the correct amount of 498. And as we were paying, to see the IPCs, we never exceeded the 498. We were within that contract. Maybe I would ask that my director engineering can just shed more light, my colleagues who have joined me, to just shed more light on the figure and the contract. Thank you.
Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. The figures, the mistake came through the IPCs.
It's Director Engineer. You can actually come and sit.
Thank you, Chair. Like TC earlier alluded, we noticed the mistakes after just a few payments, but we managed to correct it as soon as possible and keep the contract sum within the agreed amount. So we never overpaid any excess amount. I submit, Chair.
Just
There, Chair. Sorry, what did you correct? Because you are telling us the cover had the right contract sum. Even the contractor had the right contract sum. What have you amended? No wonder I asked you to say, could it be that you would pay, you show us to say you have paid the contract the right things, the difference, because it remains with you. Do you think you can tell us to say we got the difference? Can you tell, if you get something from someone and you don't want that person to know, are you going to tell that person? That is the question.
okay. Honorable Shakafuswa, and then Honorable Nyambosa.
Chair, on the same, I hear the director is saying that they didn't overpay. I will lead you to page 2, where we have failure to adhere to contract conditions, where the council was supposed to retain 5% of the contract sum until the defect liability of 6 months. However, I note on page 3 that the council paid an advance payment within 1 month upon the completion certificate. Tell us, why did you not adhere to the contract conditions? Since you're saying you never overpaid, and there's this query here. I thank you, Chair.
Honorable Nyambose.
Thank you, Chair, once again. The director engineering is seemingly contradicting with the town clerk. The town clerk says there was nothing wrong because the contractor had the right contract. The director engineering is telling this committee that they realized the error when they were paying the IPCs. And the IPCs were being claimed on the higher figure, not the contract that he had. So if the contractor had a lower figure, why was he claiming on the higher figure to pay to get the money for the IPCs? I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much, Town Clerk. Because the issue here is the two figures. And somebody, one of the members asked, saying, at which point did you realize that you have two different figures? And if indeed you said you are going to work with 498, do you have evidence to show that actually you had nothing to do with the other one, and then you were working on the other one? And then the third question, like my colleague is putting it, is that there are guidelines on when, as and when you should pay the final payment, but you overlooked that one and paid. Town Clerk. On the same.
Chair, I wanted just to find out when there is a contract, how many officers go through that contract, for the sake of this committee to know, so that we know how many people, officers didn't see the figure, that there is a difference between the contract and that which was inside the contract. I submit, Chair.
Town Clerk.
Thank you very much, Chair. Sorry, so if you check on Appendix 1, which is showing the contract there, between the council and the said contractor, the amount will still be 498, which the contractor accepted, and even the notification was the same. However, on the cover, that's why there was 503, is it 502? But we paid within the contract. And to answer the question from Honorable Simba, how many people are involved in when an IPC is issued? How many people are involved? Of course, when the contractor is has claimed or is claiming for a payment, the engineering people will clear the contract. They'll have to go and inspect whether he has done according to the stage his contractor is claiming. And then, when they clear him, they will attach pictures on what that stage where the project is. They'll clear it, and the auditors also check, our internal auditors, they also check before it goes for payment. So that is what was done. However, like I said, Chair, we wish to regret that this contract, the whole document contract, had an error of 502 and then 498 inside, which I think was an oversight on our side, and that's why I regretted to say, of all the 25 projects, you never see that mistake. But I think on this particular one, there was that mistake. But I think When you check even our payments, we never paid, overpaid the contractor. I wish to submit.
It's, yes, Honorable.
The issue here is not the final payments to the contractor. Here is a contractor who was given, he knew for sure, and I've seen the contract here, we have seen it. It shows 498. But why was this contractor claiming on 502 when he knew for sure the contract was 498? And the regulations stipulate clearly the IPCs are claimed on the final amount of the contract. And the auditors were passing this payment, they had a copy, they knew. Even you as a final signatory, you saw that they were claiming the IPCs on a wrong figure, you kept on paying. What were you trying to assist this contractor? Thank you, Chair.
Town Clerk.
To answer the question, when the contractor claims an IPC, say 150 against what he has done, he's not claiming against a 502. He's claiming against what he accepted. What was the legal binding document between us and the contractor? So that's what I can say. Not that he was claiming on the 503. He was claiming against the 498, which he signed for. I submit.
Thank you. Let's have a comment from the auditors on the same.
Thank you, Chair. We just wanted to submit that during the audit, we were actually given a copy of the contract that was signed on the 23rd of September with the company, and the contract sum that was indicated in this contract sum that we used during the audit is 503,73750. And this contract was signed both by the management of the Chongo Municipal Council and the contractor. This is the contract that we have.
Thank you very much. Town Clerk, you have gotten that. That's why the contention here is these two figures, 503 and the 498. And the auditors are now explaining that actually the contract that you gave them when they came to audit was the 503. And then you, in your submission, you said is what? Arithmetic or topographic? No, I want the reasons that they are giving. So why are we advancing those reasons? Is it topographical error that led to the appearance of 503? The second one is it was arithmetic check-in and bill of quantities that gave the figure that led to the emergence of this figure. So, at which point did we, forget about the 503, which you gave the auditors, and then started working on the 498? Because initially, according to the auditors, this was coming, whatever you're agreeing, whatever you're doing, it was 503, which you said it was just a topographical error. So can you make a clarification on that scenario?
Indeed.
Before he responds, I think just to augment your point, we are under Cap 12, yes, misleading the committee. In this document we are reading is a different contract that they have come to submit to this committee, and they are misleading us. The auditors were given a different contract. Can we clarify this matter? Thank you, Chair.
Okay, before you respond, Town Clerk, Honorable Shakafuswa.
Yes, Chair, I want to add as well. I would like to find out from the town clerk which law he used to amend the contract after it had been completed. And which law did you use to amend the contract after it was completed, and it was only amended after the issue was raised by the auditors? And this would have led to loss of government revenue. So which law did you use to amend the contract after it had been completed?
Town Clerk, maybe before you respond, the argument or the clarifications members seeking here is because you have two figures. And on those two figures, if you are saying we have four... three figures. If you are saying you are working on 498, what was so difficult to give the auditors the same figure, the 498, so that we forget, because you are claiming, or you are not claiming, so sorry, but you have submitted that it was a topographical error and arithmetical checking bill of quantities. So if you realize that those were the causes of the 503, why didn't you explain and do away with it and give them the right figure, which was 498? But you ended up giving them, where the auditors are standing, they are working on 503 and not 498. Please, Town Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, we have high value for this committee. We can't mislead the House. What it is when our colleagues came through to check auditors, of course, what they found, this is a document which was binded, which is a contract. Inside, the contract is actually composed of contract conditions, the acceptance. So in that contract, you see, Chair, that there are even acceptance documents, which the 498 is actually there in the contract. However, they said, why are you having on the cover, you have 503, and then inside, what the contractor accepted is 498. That's when now we said, oh, there's an error here. We amended the contract. Not that we have two contracts. I think after they realized that your document is not uniform, the whole document, that's how when we amended the contract. So we want to agree, yes, at Chair. There was an error, of course, in the same document. You have 503, and then what the contractor has accepted, or what we are working on, was 498. So we had to amend so that the contract, because, by the way, these contracts, they are a record of government, so that even in the future when they are audited, it should not have ambiguous figures or two figures. It should have one. That's why we amended it. But like I said, we want to regret that that particular contract had errors inside. No wonder we corrected. We attempted to actually give our colleagues, auditors, the acceptance of the contract. Maybe they could even would have called the contractor to ask. But I think they had their own reasons and they maintained the query. Thank you.
Town clerk, it's not their duty to call the contractor. Them, they are looking at what you have agreed as an institution with the contractor. Kindly shed more light on Honorable before we. Honorable Nyambo says that this contractor was drawing or is being paid on 503. Can you say something on that? If we agreed that yes, everything was done on 498, why was the contractor getting the IPCC on 503?
Thank you very much. I think Honorable Shakafusa asked which law we are using. We've been using the Public Procurement Act, of course, of 2022, the one which is guiding on the contracts, and that's how. When like I clarified earlier, Chair, when the contractor was claiming, he was not claiming on 503. He was claiming on what he accepted, which is 498. So it's not that he was claiming on 503, he was claiming on 498.
Honorable members, are you following? If you check on the APCs, Honorable Nyambose, where are you basing your...
Chair, we are on record and we are live. If you check what the Director Engineering indicated and what the auditors indicated, it speaks to the same. The auditors are saying, and I read this, and I will repeat, I will read. On page 3, a typographical error led to the appearance of 503-738 in the contract document. This resulted in calculating of the wrong IPCs, which is supposed to be 50% paid at completion of work and the other 50% at the expiry of the defect liability period. And this is the auditors who picked this, and it's in their report. I'm just reading what you wrote. It led to the calculating of wrong IPCs, basing on 503. And the Director Engineering came and said, yes, we were paying on the 503. And I'm just reading what the Director Engineer is saying. Now the Town Clerk is refusing that they never paid on the 503. So I don't know which one to follow, Chair. Thank you.
Just before you react to that, Town Clerk, I think Honorable Shakafuso was saying, why didn't you adhere to the contractual guidelines? You paid before the time we are supposed to pay. I think that's what he was asking, not that which law are you using, but he was saying, why did you pay before the expiring of the time? Maybe you can respond to that before, then we can come to...
I'll ask my colleague, Director Engineer, to just shed more light on that one.
Director Engineering?
Thank you, Chair. To answer the Honorable's question, the first payment was made upon completion, which is 50% of the retention. Then the other 50% is withheld until the defects liability period is completed. The money is withheld just in case we've got any defects. That's why the 50% is held. So we did not overpay by then, and we managed to follow the contract condition. I submit, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Amutero, and then Honorable Simamso.
When we are told, when your committee is told to say was paid on wrong IPC, basing on the 503.
Honorable Shakafuso, you can switch off your mic.
What would you want us to believe? What do you want us to take? TC, I hear you, that you gave the same document which the cover had the wrong things altogether. You have 15 days exit time. Did you then give the right cover which you amended on the exit? If you didn't, why? You are now saying no auditors chose. They didn't choose. They were just following what you gave them. They never imposed anything on you.
Okay, thank you. We want to move on from this question. I know I still have Honorable Simombe, Honorable Shakafuso, then yourself, Honorable Simombe.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I'm still on the loans. I really want to ask the TC, if you are given time, are you ready to bring a statement of results from the bank indicating when that money was received in that account and how much interest it has accrued and where that interest has gone to? When are you ready to bring this information to this committee?
Honorable Shakafuso.
Chair, the special, I go back to my question. The special conditions required that the council retain the total of 5%, only to be paid after 6 months of the defect liability period. And this has been the law. I've operated in council for over 10 years. This has been the law. You only pay this money after the period has elapsed, so that if any defects are noticed, the contractor is compelled to go and work on the defects. This record shows that you paid an advance on retention of 45%, which is 11 million, and the retention was 25,000, and you paid 11,000. Why didn't you adhere to the agreed conditions as set out in the contract?
Honorable Simomba.
Chair, for me, I wanted just to find out why you have got two sets of contracts. The one which they have submitted to us as 498-109. The other one which they are submitted to the auditors was 503. Why do we have these two documents dealing the same thing? I submit, Chair.
Town Clerk.
Thank you. Yes, I'll start with the loans. Yes, Honorable. Even this afternoon, I can bring the statement. But I think maybe tomorrow I can bring the statement on the interest. If that there's any way statement is that we can get from our bank, that I can say, sir. Then why do we have two contracts? My leaders, what I'm saying is, of course, the area or the latter, the area contract had errors. We've done away with. We've amended. Now we have the 498, which we want to keep on record to say it was amended, and we don't have two contracts. Thank you.
The other question from Honorable Shagafuswa. Honorable Shagafuswa's question was that you are supposed to retain 5% or something.
Yes, that's a standard, of course. When you pay a contractor, of course, that 5% will retain for any defect liability. But like I said, because of the error in the calculation of the same IPC, I think the last IPC, we had paid, is it a 45%? So I think that's why I said we want to regret that the contract itself. I think we regret that it had those errors, and I think our engineers on the calculating, we could have gone, we could have paid that 45% of sin, but the beauty about it, like I said, there's the retention is still retained by the employer, which is the council, and that money is still with us, even after the completion. The building is being used right now. It was handed over a long time ago. That retention, the money is still sitting in the account. I submit.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, we are running out of time on the same, but what I'm getting from the town clerk now is maybe what you are supposed to give us in the first place, that yes, this particular contract has issues, because we keep on going around and the explanation, the submission is not very clear. From where we stand as a committee, they're not clear, because what you gave the auditors is something else, and what you are explaining is something else. And
I want the town clerk to rectify this, that the money is still sitting with them when they have paid it. It's not correct. And we're live, people are listening. They paid some money out of the retention against the contract which they prepared themselves.
Town clerk, what you are saying, your first statement was that yes, you regret that you paid, you had mixed, there are some mix-up that you made, and you ended up paying that money. And then you are also saying that money is still sitting in your account. So I'm saying your submission is making it very difficult for us to generate a report. Like I told you in the first place, that what you want is...
And he's saying they paid long time ago. They are even using the infrastructure. But if it is wrong time ago, you should have finished paying the contract. Because you cannot continue retaining money. If it's a long time, the way you speak to us, just cool down and give us the right information. Otherwise, you'll be confusing everything. Because it should just be 6 months. So what is a long time ago? Is it 2 years, 1 year?
Okay, Honorable Mutero, honorable members who write a report on this, we get to other questions. We're running out of time. Yes, Honorable Kamondo, Honorable Nyambosa, and then Honorable Simumba.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I want to take the members to the query actually.
Page what?
On page 10.
Page 10.
This has to do with failure to spend. Failure to spend. And the management has responded. Just a point of clarification. There were unclaimed IPCs by some contractors, and also the outstanding loans which were not actually paid to the beneficiaries. And also there was a question which came earlier on the account where this money for loans sits, which actually the town clerk has said that he's going to come back and give us actually how much interest was accumulated. I wanted to find out, and the Zambians would like to find out, in this revolving fund account where the monies for loans are put, when they accumulate an interest, where does that interest go? Maybe the town clerk can tell us how that money is utilized.
Thank you.
Also, the second one is why were the IPCs not claimed by the contractors at that time, even when they had actually concluded the business? Why didn't they claim? Because every contractor, whenever they finish the works, they want to get back their money. And I want to suggest to him.
No, just ask him.
Okay.
Don't suggest to him.
Please, I've asked those questions. Now, could it be that maybe this could be one of the reasons why it is taking too long to pay the contractors? It's because maybe the councils would like to accumulate some interest. If not, why should you not pay the contractors on time when they've finished the jobs? Why didn't you?
Okay, next.
Thank you.
Honorable Nyambose.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is on page 12, missing payments, totaling 585,939. Chair, my question is, the cause of the query, Council wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations. However, payment vouchers were misplaced during the initial 2 audits, and I want to emphasize, Chair, 2 audits that were conducted during the year. And through my perusal, I've found some of the vouchers that they have submitted. They have no purchase order numbers, and they have no receiver's signature. I want to find out from the town clerk, the DF through the town clerk, maybe the team, is it a standard that when you pay a supplier, goods or services are delivered, they don't acquit on the vouchers? I've gone through the vouchers, TC, and you can go through with me, with the committee, that in the whole document, in the whole evidence that you have submitted, only 3 vouchers for Chongwe Council are acquitted by the recipients of the monies. Most of these vouchers are never acquitted or received by the suppliers who are given the money. Is it a standard? And why 2 audits within the year conducted by the auditors, you couldn't find the vouchers? Were the vouchers really there? Or it was an issue, was the usual issue that takes place?
Thank you very much. Honorable Simumba.
So that maybe we follow with what Honorable Nyambose has asked. I wanted to find out who was keeping these vouchers.
Okay.
At what point, where also did you find them? Because it's like somebody was just keeping them. And why did these vouchers only be found when the auditors left?
Okay.
Sure.
Town clerk.
Thank you very much. So I'll answer the question on the unspent funds. Why did the contractor not claim, or why were not paid? The one for the loans, I think I'll give it to the interest to my Director of Finance to help. So that figure which is showing that we didn't pay contractors, you may wish to know that there were 25 projects running, and like I said, it's not that the contractor finished executing the works. They were only, we pay as per claim. So when the projects are running, of course, when auditors come, they will find that money sitting in the account. So it exits the account as and when the contractors claim like that. So it's not that maybe the money was just sitting, the projects were running. I think that's the question the answer I can give. On the missing payment vouchers and the loans, I'll ask the DF just to assist. Thank you.
DF?
Thank you, Chair. I'll start with the query on the soft loans, on the interest. When we, as a council, we accrue interest, we usually write to the ministry to guide on the amount that has been accrued. And as TC has said, tomorrow we'll be able to we'll reconcile and bring the figure how much we accrued interest for that period. Then on the query on the payment vouchers, most of these vouchers that are attached, you find that there are acquittal sheets that are attached. So the people who received the money is acquitted on the acquittal sheet that is attached.
Do we have the acquittal sheets? Just before you come in. Okay.
I want to take the committee and the DF and the team to the acquittal sheet. A voucher.
Which one? Where are you?
It's on the appendices.
Appendix
a payment.
Number, appendix number what?
Appendix number. Is it? Number 11. On the unretired interest. I just want to give you an example, and this is very interesting, Chair. There is a voucher, which is, this one was acquitted by the recipient, who is Kawata, Mwaka Kawata. It was an interest, and this is very interesting. Chair, I saw how we are being misled, or this council is misleading the nation. Have you seen that voucher number 344, amounting to 13,200? Chair, towards the end, 344. It's a council voucher. Are you there, DF? In the name of Patricia Katongo. It was done on the 3rd of February 2023. I took interest. I read through this. This was followed by a memo to the town clerk from the director planning. I hope we have the director planning here. Mm-hmm. Yes, this memo was the requisition of funds for the CDF field appraisal on the CDF for 2023 community projects. It was signed. It had a figure of 13,200 and another figure of 20,475, which was for fuel. For fuel. Are we together there, DF? Now, I want you to...
13,200, eh?
Yeah, for 13,200 for allowances.
344.
Yeah, the voucher 344. 13,200 was for allowances. The 20,475 for fuel. That was 700 liters. 2 days, 700 liters. Then there is a field appraisal program. And this program, if you look at the memo, we are together, isn't it? You look at the names there. The name number 1 was a planner from Ministry of Education. Are we together? Then number 2, Anida Khalifi, Office of the President. Number 3, Mackenzie Chimbali, National Assembly. Number 4, Engineer Ponde. Do we have Engineer Ponde? Engineer Emmanuel Ponde, Chongwe Municipal Council. Do we have? We have one, eh? Then Engineer Kateule, the list goes, eh? Now, what the DF has told this committee is that usually they don't sign on the vouchers, they acquit. Now, look at the payment acquittance form, Chair. That is where the interest is. Compare the names on the payment acquittance form and the list of the people who undertook the activity. Two different people. When you look at that payment acquittance form, DF, do you have a NIDA on that form? The acquittance. The one who undertook the program was Anida. Check number 20. The number 20 person is Chimuka Michelo from Zambia Police. Check on the acquittance form, the people who signed for the money is not Chimuka Michelo. Check number 14, Sarah Tembo from Zambia Police. Check on the acquittance form, you can't see that name. Check number 8, Lisa Kangwa from the council. You check on the acquittance, the name is not there. Memories Malimba from social welfare, the name is not there, but on the tour, these are the people who undertook the tour. Engineer Ponde is not even on the acquittance. Now, if you look at the names on the acquittance, Chair, they're two different, they're different names. Now, is this for the purpose of just answering the query, or we are getting true information as to the people who undertake the programs and the people who are acquitting for the names? And if you ask the names, you shout them here. Are these the names that undertook the program in the council who are on the acquittance form? Two different things. Chair, we are being misled.
Town Clerk, how do you reconcile that? And maybe before even answer on that, how big is Chongwe constituency?
In terms of geographical size?
Yeah, the geographical size, yeah. Because I want to understand the 700 liters for 4 vehicles. It means maybe in a day we could use 100 liters. So how big is our constituency?
I think in terms of the square kilometers, maybe the director planning can help, but Chongwe is quite vast. I can explain that. You want to say something? I can say that our town is quite vast. I may not give the exact square kilometers, but we stretch all the way from Obama up to State Lodge and going into Chirundu, bordering with Kafiwe on the other side. We are quite a vast district. And then maybe before maybe Director of Finance can come in, yes, where there are other names as opposed to the ones which are on the memo.
Yes.
I'm being told that this is where when a memo is generated by the Director of Planning, the officers who are supposed to undertake an activity, and in the actual day when it comes, the officers would delegate to maybe the deputy to undertake. So that's why you have different names, not that these names have been manufactured. So there was a delegation I submit.
No, we don't even know if the names can be manufactured. What we are following is what you needed to explain on that, because one thing that we are mindful as you public officers in public offices is that there is always an audit query. So if you requested something today, you must have the program, you must have checked on your diary that you will be free tomorrow and you'll be able to go. But if you are going to have 5 people, they have delegated, what was the need of putting them there? Because they knew they had a program in maybe the next few days.
Just there. When you sit for a meeting, you would have planned to say, Mr. Sililo, Akaviwa, Mwene, will sit like it is showing. On the actual sitting, it is now Singombe, Chasefu, Chakafuswa sitting. What do you do? Don't we now sign to say these are the actual people? Because the people who were delegated should have again written somewhere to say, now these are the people going in the field. So that when you pay, you now pay the right people who have gone in the field. If you are talking of manufacturing names, yes, they are ghost names. In this country, ghost workers have been paid.
And just thank you.
You've never heard of ghost workers and people drawing salaries.
Thank you, Honorable Mtelo.
Chair, just to put it again, you give us to say these are the people who were executed, you pay different people.
Yes.
No. By the way, Chair, we requested that there must be a representation from local government service what? Commission. They must be here so that they'll be seeing what their people are doing.
Thank you. Town clerk, the ideal situation is that immediately you realized that these are the people that are going to go into the field now. These are the people that are going to undertake the activity. You amend the list. What was difficult about that? Other than having other people signing, what was difficult about you to say, no, these are the people that went into the field, and that's the list that you're supposed to attach here, other than attaching a new list altogether? So,
Chair,
yes.
we need to be serious. I think there's something wrong here. When you look at the 700 liters for 4 vehicles, which means one vehicle was consuming about 175 liters. When I'm going to Nakonde, Chair, I just use those 175 liters, and it's about 1,100 case.
That's what I asked about.
So I would want to know where they were going, where they were doing these field appraisal, if it was outside Chongwe or it was within Chongwe, that they can consume per vehicle 175 liters. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. Town clerk.
Thank you very much, Chair. I want to say that, yes, the guidance on the actual people supposed to go for monitoring, we want to say that we regret what happened where the officers who were requested to go would delegate and then other names will appear. Because of delegated, it doesn't show uniformity, and I think it brings some doubt.
Yeah.
We want to regret that we will do a good job. Next time, I want to apologize. Maybe on the leaders, my director planning will say something. He wants to say something on the request they made for monitoring of projects.
Director planning.
Excuse me. Thank you, Chair. Chair, you may wish to know that when we are making these requests, we adhere to the guidance from the government on the kilometer calculations to do with the fuel request. So, Chair, when we were coming up with this request, we took into consideration the distances to various areas that we are supposed to visit for the same monitoring exercise. So that's how, Chair, we arrived at this amount of fuel, because actually the constituency is very vast, Chair, and there are these places that are dotted all over in the rural, far-flung places. So it's a question where you see, Chair, vehicles are moving from one school to the other, and the network is the road network is not very good. So sometimes you just go to a school maybe for 50 kilometers and back. Then you turn around, you go to another school. So such happens due to, but usually we follow the government guidance on fuel calculations, Chair.
Thank you very much. Director planning, maybe before I allow my colleagues, all of us drive around, and your government, the first thing that your government is looking at is prudence in the use of public funds. And when you are driving a place like Chongwe, maybe it's like Siavonga, the other side, but Siavonga should be worse off than Chongwe. And I know when I put 100 liters in my Land Cruiser, it will take me days, because even the speed is not there, because the roads are bad. So the consumption is very low. So for you, if you can put more than 100 liters for 2 days, I would agree if it was Mufumbwe, which is 600 kilometers apart. I would agree if it is Kasempa or these other vast constituencies that I know. But for Chongwe, you go and come back, and then the following day you go. And so when you went in the first day, director planning, it means you consumed about 80 liters or 100 liters. And you come the following day, you top up almost 100 liters. Was that the situation?
Thank you, Chair. The situation is that, Chair, like you have mentioned, you'd find that the project is running for 5 days. So today you'd cover maybe above 100 kilometers. You come back. If there's still fuel, you go. You come back, you see
But
that...
you have given us 2 days here.
Yes, Chair, I'm giving a scenario.
Yes.
Yes. So the idea is that when you come back, of course, drivers are able to guide. They'll tell you to say, today we are visiting this and that place. We need to top up. Because that fuel is, sits with the filling stations.
Outside the council, director planning, outside the council, if you are this is your farm, and the people have used 700 liters, would you as an individual agree to that?
Chair, I agree with your concerns. They are valid, but it's the question of, kilometer coverage. And talking about this, Chair, is the question of what we did with the formula that government has guided. So we calculated upon the government formula.
Me, I would argue with that formula, and I would contest that formula, because to me it's wasted. I know you're following whatever you're following, but to me, that I wouldn't say that is prudence. Honorable members, yes.
Let me just make a follow-up question. My assessment, my opinion, Chair, this money is coming from the administrative component of the CDF. And this is where there is abuse. Chair, for lack of a better term, there is abuse of resources. Many times, if you go through this report, activities, some of them I suspected are not undertaken, but monies are drawn. If you look at the list that has been prepared here and the list who have acquitted, there are two different lists. You can't tell me an officer from the MP's office can refuse to go for monitoring. The Zambia police officer can refuse to go for monitoring. The office of the president can refuse to go for monitoring on projects. It's not true. But they have acquitted using their fellow workers at the council. Now, if you look at the expenditure here, which you cannot justify morally, Chair, is coming from the same. And I've interrogated up to the last page. For lack of time, if you see the vouchers not being acquitted, it's speaking to the same. So, Chairperson, you cannot justify this expenditure, Chairperson. These monies are not being spent accordingly.
Honorable, I'm hearing you.
Chair.
You look at the council.
I'm looking at the council, Chair. And if I'm going to ask the council to come back with the officers whom they have indicated on the acquittal sheet and say these are the officers who went in the field. And when they go to any project, what they do, they log in. Any project you inspect, you should have a date that you logged in to inspect this project. And a vehicle that spends more than 2 liters in 10 kilometers, I think there is a problem with that vehicle. Minimum. I know that. And the beauty is that we travel a lot, all of us as members of parliament. For me, I go to Chasefu. I don't spend the liters that you have spent in Chongo. There is no justification you can give morally. These are monies meant for the people, and we are misapplying or misusing these monies. On this account, I can stand my ground that there is a lot of abuse on the administrative cost of CDF. That's why projects, Chairperson, are still at and delivered, but administrative cost spent 100%. I submit, Chair.
Let's have 1 or 2 lasting interventions from honorable members who give the council to respond. Members, we have a packed day up to the afternoon. So Honorable Shakafuswa will end with Honorable Simomba. Please.
Chair, due to time, I wanted to move away from this issue.
I know would have gone the whole day.
Yeah, so that I touch on the irregular procurement of specialized equipment, where the council spent about 9.2 million single sourcing from 2 companies. Yet they also visited other companies during the due diligence process. I've also had a look at the appendices. For their justification, they were saying some villages were cut off. But in the photos attached in the appendices, I've not seen any evidence to justify that there was any village or bridge that was broken to have made the council to single source this equipment. What was the motivation to spend 9.2 million kwacha on 2 companies whose companies have equipment which is found elsewhere and contrary to the laws governing the procurement on single sourcing?
Hope we are taking note.
Are you able to bring evidence to justify or as evidence according to your reasoning that villages were cut off? Do you have photos to show us to say in this area the road was impassable? I submit, Chair.
Thank you. Last, Honorable Simomba.
Thank you very much, Chair. On the same, I wanted to find out the motivation that our council had to pay these same companies more than 25% advance payment. Chair, as per practical, a special contract condition that requires to pay is only 25%. But they went further to pay these companies more than the amount required. I wanted to find out what motivated them to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. Town clerk, this is to help you in managing the council and your officers. There are moments when things are done, you should be working as a team. Let's respond to those 3 interventions. Number 1, on the issue of different people. Although honorable member, he apologized because we may just be going in circles. He did apologize on that, admittedly. And then on the fuel, let's go to Honorable Shakafuswa. And lastly, Honorable Simomba. Then we'll be winding down. Members, I know you still have issues, but let's mind time.
I can respond.
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you very much for the questions. I think I'll start with the one for fuel. Yes, we are alive to the fact that we need to be prudent in the way we use our administrative costs. We take the council, of course. I think what I want to assure the House that we've done our level best to try and guard our administrative cost, and I think we've taken the council to say the officers who are supposed to go and do monitoring they should actually go and monitor. They're not delegating to other officers. I think that council we have taken, we will do our level best. I want to assure the House. Then the issue of direct bidding. Honorable Shakafuswa, who is our neighbor in Ngwerere, He says, what was the motivation? Bring the evidence on the village user cutoff. Maybe the word we have used cutoff, but we had a need as a constituency. The roads were bad. Of course, some of the crossing points were attached. You may actually peruse that report. We've attached some crossing points we've actually worked on, even drainages. We have unblocked using our machinery we have used. So there was a need to procure this machinery. Yes, the method we use, direct bidding, is actually provided for in the ZBP Act, except we were guided to say, by order to say, you should have used open bidding. Maybe we could have used that particular method. But however, we want to state that there was value for money. The council actually have the equipment and which is servicing the community. That's what I would say. But in future, we will use open bidding or other methods of procurement to ensure that there is a competition, and also, if we have time, I think we want to commit that we use other methods of procurement. Then there was an issue to say, I think Honorable Smumba mentioned the issue of there was a payment of 45%, if I'm not mistaken. There was an advance payment, I think, according to which page is that one? Page 8. So maybe my answer to this is that we paid an advance payment based on the bond which was submitted, performance bonds. That's why we paid the advance. And you can see, Honorables, the equipment was supplied within the specified period of time. So, like I've said, I think in a nutshell to say, in future, we will use other methods of procurement as opposed to direct bidding. Because in the Act, it is provided where there's an urgency of the matter, a procurement entity can use it to procure certain goods and services. I submit.
Thank you. Honorable Nyambos and Honorable Shakafuso.
Chair,
Quick ones.
I'm very uncomfortable with the response from the town clerk. The Honorable Member of Parliament for Mandevo asked as to why they didn't follow the regulations. The response comes to say, however, the machines are there, they are working. In future, we have been advised to use this open bidding, but we shall do this. You see, Chairperson, we are just merely looking at the regulation and the adherence to the regulation. The auditors have highlighted the omissions. And from the response, I don't see that hope that the town clerk or the team seem to agree that they were wrong to have followed a wrong method than the stipulated one. Chairperson, one water bowser was not, if not mistaken, I will not open the page, was not delivered at the time of audit. And the regulation states that you cannot pay 50%. They paid actually more than what was stipulated. So why should they go against the regulations? We are dealing with CDF. On the operation audits, when they come, same non-adherence to regulations by councils, officers. And now here, we are being treated. This is, for me, Chair, it's a bad report for Chongwe. I read it through. And if at the time we were going to spend the whole day for Chongwe, we could have violated page by page, item by item. It's a very bad report for Chongwe. And this is a starting point. I fear other councils that will appear. These are public resources we are trying to protect. And the laws are there. So the town clerk's response towards the question from Honorable Shakafuso and Simumba are not comforting me. The delivery of the water bowser. Why pay monies before, when you knew that in the bonded house, the equipment was not there? I've read the report. Thank you so much.
Just to augment on what you are saying, Honorable Nyambose, the town clerk, on page 6, you justified the direct bidding because of the availability of the equipment and spares. That is page 6. And then on page 8, you say the water bowser was not there at the time of purchase. Just the same report. You were in a hurry to do that. You paid everything, and then the other equipment is not there. And you justified that you did not want to open the bid because these two companies had everything, and then you went ahead and paid. But in your report, you said the water bowser, like my colleague was has alluded to, was not there. It wasn't there. So what, like my colleague, maybe I was outside, Honorable Shagafusa was saying, what was the interest in doing that? You know, maybe I'll allow Honorable Shagafusa to say something.
Chair, I just wanted the record to be set straight by the town clerk. He says there was a need to procure equipment, a need which I know because he said I'm his neighbor. But this need does not warrant to be an emergency because we use these roads every day. And therefore, the correct procurement method should have been followed. And so my simple question is, do you agree that Chongwe Municipal Council erred to stick to the regulations of procurement, especially for this capital equipment? I thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. As you wind up, yes, Honorable Simomba.
Chair, the town clerk hasn't answered my question as to why they paid 75%, which is against the law, advance payment. But however, I wanted to find out why they paid 50% to this company 9 days after just signing the contract. That's what it is stating here on page 8. Contrary to special contract conditions, which requires the payment of 50% after the goods were delivered, the council paid various suppliers on 4th September 2023, 9 days after signing the contract, before the equipment was delivered. So you can see, Chair, that the interest somehow was there because they didn't even follow what the law stipulates. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. Town Clerk, Vice Chair, you want to make a comment? And you, please,
yes.
Introduction.
Thank you, Chair, and my sincere apologies for coming in late. My name is Honorable Kambamba Mlenga, Member of Parliament for the good people of Galulusha. I'm also Vice Chairperson. Having coming in late and obviously listening to my colleagues on the various concerns over Chongo Municipal Council, maybe my question would be in terms of the payment, especially the one that Honorable Simumba has alluded to. For me, I feel, I mean, for a council to err like that, maybe they were under some duress, or maybe who are the owners of the companies? Because sometimes you find that we politicians also drive to this certain issues arising in the council. So maybe my question would be, why would you do that, TC, through your officers? Were you under some duress, or maybe who are the owners of the companies? Because I mean, if regulations are stipulated and guidelines are given, why would you want to err in such a manner? That would be my concern.
Thank you, thank you. I'm sure TC is very clear with everyone that Chongo, your submission this morning has not been good. It's obviously below par. Right from the beginning and to the end, the first one, it was the figures that we could not reconcile with the auditors and your report. We tried, but we did not get something that we are going to use to write a report. There is no clarity on that. The second one is the missing payment vouchers. The auditors came to your institution twice. Before they came, they wrote to you, they engaged you, They came, they didn't find these payment vouchers. They went away. They came back and they didn't find the payment vouchers. The third time we were able to attach unacquitted payment vouchers. Is there any prudence in that? The third one is the procurement, that yes, you had an emergency and you needed to procure those machines. You went ahead and paid everything against what you are supposed to do. And in that payment, the other equipment is not there, but the payment is made. So those are questionable actions that Chongo Municipal Council, even if you came to explain here, and the nation at large, and I want to counsel you that it's not the best explanations that we are going to look at here. We are going to look at the substance in what you are submitting. That's what we are looking at. That's why I almost engaged in the planning officer, that if it was your farm, are you going to let things to run like this? Because at times, let's take this, public funds, that there is somebody that side out there that needs the service that we are not delivering. And when it comes even to payments, simple mistakes where I'm not going there. Then tomorrow morning, since we now have these names that are going there, and these names that promised yesterday are not there, we generate a report and then we attach it so that it's clear to everybody. They come and sign, those people that undertakes the activity, but other people are signing. To you, that maybe that could be prudence. It's not. TC, you have been a very good council secretary, and this is the reason as to why you are now town clerk. We have been interacting for some time. But there are institutions that we feel there are cartels that will go on, and they'll bring even the TC. You can't submit unacquitted payment vouchers. You can't, because you are seasoned, a principal officer. So to say the least is that we have reluctantly admitted your report, reluctantly, because in the minds of the committee, in the minds of the honorable members, and the Zambians out there are still questions about the responses that you have offered today, this morning, to this committee. So we are reluctantly admitting your report, and we believe that these explanations that you have offered today will not come back next year. Will not come back next year. We want prudence of the utilization of the meager resources that this country has. So with that said, at this point I will withdraw the immunity that was conferred on you as Chongo Municipal Council and allow you to go back, and please put your house in order. Thank you very much.
I want to thank you, Chair, for the counsel given to us. We want to do our level best to ensure that we save the Zambian people at our utmost ability. Thank you.
Thank you. You are free to leave.
My name is Walusam Lariki. I was born on the 18th of June 1982 at a rural health center called Smakumba in Lukulu district in the Western Province. I started my primary education at Lukulu Basic and later moved to Senanga Basic and then Sefula and proceeded to complete my secondary education at Solwezi Technical in Northwestern Province. I later joined the Zambia Air Force as a clerk accountant and then further proceeded to do ACCA from Zambia Center for Accountancy Studies, ZICAS. And then later on, I decided to leave the Defense Force to go and do business in Senanga, where I've been until my election. I'm married, happily married to Mufuka Katongo. I've got children and the business that is flourishing and wonderful people in Senanga that we're working together with very nicely. Senanga is, it has got both the urban side and the rural side. We've got 14 wards in Senanga. Of those 14 wards, only 5 are along the road. The other 9 wards, there's no road to talk about where they are because of the Louis River. So it is a place which needs a lot of development, especially infrastructure to do with roads, as well as infrastructure to do with the schools. We have inadequate classroom blocks. We have very few clinics considering the large area that we are covering. So currently, we have an urgent need to construct clinics as well as the classroom blocks. Going forward, our people in Senanga need money. That is the cry of almost every person. They need something that they can lay their hands on. So in order for us to be able to achieve that, we want to industrialize Senanga. So we want to take advantage of the resource that God has given us, and that is water. We have plenty water in the Louis and a vast plain. We also have plenty water and a vast plain in Namkokoba. We also have that in Lumbe. So what we want to do now is we have engaged government so that we are able to grow sugar canes. We want to grow as much sugar canes because in other places where they need to actually create the canals and so on, there they are already made by God. So it will be easier for us to grow the sugar canes and then have an industry that is able to process sugar from that end. That is our vision. That is how we hope to go. Then we are also introducing wheat growing starting next year. We did the pilot, which has worked out very well. So the same fields which people are using to grow rice are the same fields that people will use to grow wheat after they grow rice. And then we'll be able to put up a milling plant that is able to process that wheat into flour so that our people have the jobs. So instead of our people just farming once in a year, we hope our people will be able to farm twice and thrice with the introduction of wheat. For the youths in the district, we have engaged government so that we are able to empower them through the provision of motor vehicles, the taxis. So all things being equal, this year we should have the first allocation of taxis that should go to our youth in Senanga. Other than that, we want to complete infrastructure. There is a theater that was started and stored at the hospital. We want that completed. We also want at the general hospital to have an intensive care unit part which is not there. We also wanted to have a fully fledged outpatient department to meet the standard of a general hospital. Our constituents in Senanga, I want them to be positive. I want them to know that every second, every minute, we're thinking about them and we're busy creating opportunities for them. These opportunities will come in different forms. Some of them will come in forms of money, in the way of grants. Those who applied for market booster loans, they are going to receive. Also, those who applied for grants, you can see this year we have actually been allowed, instead of us paying 1.9 million in Senanga, we are paying close to 4 million. So among our applicants, those over 456 who applied will be able to pay 400 this year and only remain with only 50 that will be able to pay next year. Vashembaka, Voman Vondate, kibwitumelo kwa kolo ye mufile kulimuberekele kakolo ye lwa miezi za zembata kutoko hala mikwakwa mwasinanga mikwakwa ye mutoko mwasinanga lwa yeza lukalile munasipa teni kana kuyachole kwa sinanga mwabona mikwakwa yeziwa kwanda yeo lwaleka mishini lipangaliko za kutopangisa mikwakwa ili kuli kukalasili musestaha luvane ni mishini yalu na vo grader vo excavator vo front end loader amoho ni vo compactor vekingisa kuli tipa iteni kale aluna kuleka kuli mikwakwa yalu nakafela yona itoeziwa ya mwaboma ni yale ye ya kwa livakaza kwa hule nge mkwakwa ya kwa sivukali mkwakwa ya kwa mata.
My name is Malambo Mwemba. I was born in 1975. I was born in Niwengwa of Southern Province in Monze. I went to school at Mahiva Primary School, and then from there I went to Chipepo High School. And having come back from Chipepo, I became a farmer at the farm that I still occupy up to now. And then from there, whilst being there, I went to India, did do my cotton cultivar production and value addition at South India Trade Institute, where I was doing the certificate in value addition of all cotton products. I'm married. I have 8 children. My constituency is situated 30 kilometers away from Mazabuka district, and is quite a rural constituency which covers up to about 78 kilometer radius, and the width maybe goes up to about 38 kilometers as well. Then from there we have 2 chiefdoms. The chiefdoms that are there, Chief Mwanajungwala, and the other one is Chief Hanjaliga. Then we have about 11 wards. In the 11 wards that I have is that they are all segmented. The other 5 are in the chiefdom of Chief Mwanajungwala. Then the other 5 they are in the chiefdom of Chief Hanjaliga. Then the other one they share. So meaning that I have 11. The developmental trajectory begins from the promises that we made for the people, and as you are aware that it being a rural constituency, there are so many problems that we have, starting from the schools, the dams, the boreholes, and the roads, the clinics, you name it. But what we have done of recent past in the allocation of the CDF that we had in 2021, as you remember that in November the government did release 1.6 million for us to begin our development agenda. We had to put this money to finish up projects that were initially done by our colleague who was there, the former MP Honorable Emerson Majila. And then we had to finish 3 health posts. We had to put a bit of some money to patch up Chivuna Road. We had to put up some amount of money also to work on Itebe Road, which we finished last week, though they just had to do nearer to Itebe primary school. Then from there we also put up 99,000 kwacha to patch up Munenga Tandabari Road, of which we finished building the bridge where we put up some culverts because there is a caliver that is crossing the same road. So what we had to do is to put the bridge, and we are going to work on about a kilometer patch-up, where we are going to put some gravel. As you are aware that the CDF money was increased to significant value of up to about 25.7 million. That money is segmented in some certain divisions. Amongst the divisions, there is bursaries for the school-going children. There is also some bursaries for the skills training, and then there is also capital projects. So of the bursaries for school-going children, we had to give about 375 young boys and girls who are going into boarding schools, and we paid this money for 3 terms at once. Then from there, we also had to do 397 for skills training. On the capital projects, we have put up a good number of projects that we are going to do. As you remember, I told you that Itebe Road and the Chivuna Road are bad, and we allocated 1,520,000 for Chivuna Road to put up a bridge there at a cost of 1,520,000. Then again, before you reach along Itebe Road, before you reach Magoi High School, there is a place that is called Njirimuna. It's a village. Then there is a bridge that's supposed to be put there. We put about 726,000 kwacha for us to put up a bridge there. We have put about 15 boreholes to be done in Mbaya Wat, Mbaya Musuma Wat, and then we have put 2 boreholes in Konkola Wat. We have also put 2 boreholes, but these will be special boreholes in that the one that is going to be at Copper Market in Chivuna, that one is going to be a mechanized borehole. We want those people to have tap water, because where there is Chivuna Market, the water table is too low. So we want to allocate it somewhere, then we shall pipe it up so that the people can be able to have access to good and clean water. Then from there, we have a problem with water at Chivuna Mission Clinic, where we also agreed to put up a mechanized borehole at a cost of 75,000 kwacha. Then again, we are due to put a mechanized borehole at Tandabale. It's a market. It has grown. It is growing actually very quickly. So we decided to put up a mechanized borehole to ensure that our people can be able to access clean and quality drinking water. Then beyond that, we also have put up some certain programs to construct a 1x3 classroom block at Mezi. Mezi is situated about 52 kilometers away from the main road to the eastern side. It is situated in Chief Yanjarigas Chiefdom in Konkola Ward. So we have put about 1,300,000 to put up a 1x3 classroom block, and then we also are going to build a staff house for a clinic at Mukuyu, a staff house at Shembwe, it's a rural health post. Then we also are going to put up a staff house at Munenga Clinic. Then beyond that, we have also put up 1,187,000 kwacha worth of desks that are going to be procured. Because of this free education that the new Dawn government have put in place, we are having challenges in terms of seating capacity in the schools. So we have decided to ask our CDF committee to allocate some certain amounts of money to ensure that our children can be able to sit on desks. So this time we are going to begin with 1,187,000 to access a few desks, so that those schools which have completely nothing, almost nothing, we can be able to help them. Then from there, we also have decided to put up a project there is a place that is called in our constituency Najipoma Clinic. At Najipoma, we are going to electrify that clinic. Because of its locality, we always have a problem in terms of electricity, and we have decided to electrify it by using 630,000 kwacha to ensure that we can be able to provide the needed electricity for that clinic. I think in short summary, there are a lot of programs that we have put in the constituents to ensure that our people are helped using the CDF money. But beyond that, not using CDF, we are lucky that the government, through the World Bank, have made a provision of some certain resource. I think Magoye was one of the two only in southern province which were given rural connectivity, the road network. So we were given a huge kilometer to be worked, and the contractor is mobilizing at the moment in Magoye. We shall do Chivuna Road comprehensively up to Mission. We shall do Mbia Chivuna Road. We shall do Magoye Chivuna Road. We shall do Itebe Nziba Road. We shall also do Tandabale, Simwaba, Naleza, Mabanga up to Manyana Road, and we shall also do Itebe.
Thank you very much. Rufunsa Town Council, you're welcome to your Committee on Local Government Accounts. We'll straight away go into introductions, and we'll start with the permanent witnesses. Office of the Auditor General.
From Auditor General and the Lusaka province. Good morning, sir. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Fred Daura.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, honorable members. Good morning, witnesses. I'm Kachari Dixon, Principal Auditor in the Lusaka province. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Simon Munyama. I'm Senior Auditor, Office of the Auditor General.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. Good afternoon, Council Secretary and the team. My name is Andrew Sivare from the Office of the Control of Internal Audit at the Ministry of Finance and National Planning. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair, or good afternoon, Chair, and good afternoon, honorable members, and Rufunsa Council. My name is Oscar Nyarenda from the Office of the Accountant General, Ministry of Finance and National Planning.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of Parliament, and welcome, Rufunsa. I'm Kennedy Kazinga, permanent witness from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. I submit.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of Parliament, honorable members of this committee. Good afternoon, Rufunsa. My name is Akelric Siame from Ministry of Finance, Office of the Accountant General.
Thank you very much. I will now invite you, Rufunsa, to introduce yourself and let others do the same.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon. My name is Bishop Venture Kafla. I'm the Council Secretary for Rufunsa. I'm accompanied by the Direct Treasurer, Council Treasurer, Director of Works, and District Planning Officer.
Thank you. Let them introduce themselves.
Sure.
Good morning, Chair. Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Mukeo Kashala, the Council Treasurer of Rufunsa Town Council. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members. My name is Mtinta Siansomo, District Planner from Rufunsa Council.
Good afternoon, Chair, and all the members. My name is Fred Mkuka, the Director of Works of Rufunsa Town Council.
Thank you very much. Do you still have an officer from Rufunsa there? Can you introduce yourself too?
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of Parliament. My name is Darrington Bwali. I'm the Internal Auditor for Rufunsa Town Council.
Thank you very much. Can switch off the mic. I'll now invite the members. Honorable Simumba.
Lufunsa, you are most welcome and happy New Year. I'm Honorable Simumba Lucas, Member of Parliament for Nakonde. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon and welcome, Rufunsa. My name is Mishek Nyambose, Chasefo Member of Parliament. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and Vice, honorable colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Witness, you're welcome. My name is Christopher Shakafuswa. I'm a Member of Parliament for Mandev Constituency, where you are today. Thank you. I'm a member of the committee.
Good afternoon, Chair. Afternoon, Rufunsa and everyone else. I'm Honorable Mwenel Hamba, Member of Parliament for Mangango Constituency, and I'm a member of this committee. Thank you.
Chair, thank you so much. You are welcome. A Happy New Year. Mutelo Mishek, MP for Mitete, a member for this committee.
Thank you. Honorable Commander.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Good afternoon, Rufunsa Council. My name is Elliot Kamondo, MP for Mfumbwe constituency. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Happy New Year, everyone. My name is Honorable Kampamba Mlenga, Member of Parliament for the good people of Kalulushi on the Copper Belt. I'm also Vice Chairperson of this committee, the only female member.
Thank you very much. We also have members of staff from the National Assembly of Zambia, Parliamentary Budget Office, and the clerk. My name is Mulunda Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency, and the chairperson for the Committee on Local Government Accounts, the committee appearing before this afternoon. Before we go into our business, as per tradition, whenever you appear before any parliamentary committee, you are conferred with immunity that whatever you say during our deliberations, it cannot be used against you in any courts of law. However, if you choose to mislead the same committee, the same Cap 12 will be used against you. But I have no doubt in my mind that you will not mislead this committee, but you will give it factual information, the information that we are going to use to generate a very good report, the report that we'll submit before Honorable Madam Speaker. With that said, I will now invite you, Council Secretary, to make your submission before the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm presenting the memorandum.
Just to guide, in the interest of time, for instance, on page 1, you read the query. This is procurement and supply of school desks. Then you go to the management response or cause of query, then the action and the remedy that you have offered in that fashion.
Right, Chair.
Thank you.
The first query is on procurement and supply of school desks. The cause of query on page 2 of the memorandum: 29 desks supplied by New Deal Contractors, Auto Spare Limited, and Dasmo Electrical Installations and Supply Limited had cracks. This was as a result of the shrinkage of the timber since the supplier used uncured timber. The action taken, Mr. Chairman, Lufonsa Town Council engaged New Deal Contractors Auto Spares Limited to replace the 15 defective desks, and engaged Dasmo Electro Installations and Supply Limited to replace 14 defective desks. The two contractors replaced and delivered the desks, and verification has since been done. We have attached as Appendix 1A a letter of acknowledgement of receipt of 15 desks by the head teachers at Luangwa Bridge Primary School as well as Chamlimba Primary School. The remedial measure, Mr. Chairman, is that we have since included a 1-year warrant clause in the local purchase order for all desks to be supplied in the future, and we have attached a sample of the local purchase order as Appendix 1C. The second query is delayed completion of projects. There was, it was highlighted, cause of query is that there was failure to electrify Chamlimba Health Post despite completion of the construction of the structure. The action taken, the project was completed as indicated by the Auditor General according to the scope of works provided for in the bill of quantities. The electrification of the project was not part of the scope of works. We have attached Appendix 2A of the bill of quantities. However, we want to provide further information that we have signed a memorandum of understanding with the Rural Electrification Authority for electrification of public facilities within the district using 2023's CDF. The council will ensure that Chamlimba Health Post is amongst the public facilities that will be considered, and we have attached the MOU with the RIA as Appendix 2B. The remedial measure, Ufunsa Town Council will ensure that all public facilities are connected to electricity. B, the third query was the staff loans failure to collect repayments of loans. Reason or cause of the query, failure by the council.
Sorry, Council Secretary, is the soft loans?
Yes, soft loans,
not
sorry.
Staff loans, yes.
My apologies, soft loans. Soft loans, failure to collect repayments of soft loans. These are empowerment loans, Mr. Chairman, under CDF. Cause of query, failure by the council to collect loan repayments and did not charge the 2% on delayed loan payments. Action taken. The loan agreement signed between the loan beneficiaries and Ufunsa Town Council provides that the first payment shall be 60 days from the date of issuance or disbursement of the loan. We have attached a loan agreement. Therefore, the council has since commenced receipt of loan repayments after the agreed moratorium and as shown in the schedule of loan recoveries that we have provided under Appendix 3B. Additionally, the council did not commence the charge of 2% on delayed loan repayments as loans were within the 60 days moratorium. The remedial measure, Ufunsa Town Council shall continue to make recoveries in line with signed agreements with the beneficiaries. Under cross-cutting issues, as appended in the Auditor General's report, we also want to respond to that on page 5 of our memorandum. Appendix 1, an issue to do with budget performance, and it was highlighted. The cause of query, the council did not spend funds amounting to 4,634,259 from the total 2022 CDF budget. This was attributed to committed funds under ongoing 2021 and 2022 community projects, interest earned on the account, and variation of funds from secondary boarding and skills development to community projects component for procurement of desks, which was spent in 2023. Action taken. Ufunsa Town Council has spent funds under the variation component on the procurement of 1,894 desks. Additionally, all the 5 projects under 2021 CDF were completed. We have attached Appendix 4A, the completion certificates for all the 2021 projects. Further, 20 out of the 22 community projects have been completed, with minor finishes outstanding on the 2 uncompleted projects. See Appendix 4B, the completion certificates for 2022 projects. Additionally, Mr. Chair, the interest earned on the account amounting to 110,101 was remitted to central government as per Appendix 4C, transfer of interest. Lastly, the approval of the variation of funds from secondary bursaries and skills development to community projects is also attached as Appendix 4D. Remedial measures. Ufunsa Town Council shall continue to strictly adhere to CDF guidelines and the Public Finance Management Act, number 1 of 2018. Page 6 is Appendix 2, which is failure to spend. Cause of query, Ufunsa Town Council did not spend funds amounting to 8,661,538 The unspent funds were attributed to unpaid or unclaimed interim payment certificates and retention funds on the projects. Action taken, the council has spent their outstanding balance from 2022. We have attached as Appendix 5A the bank statement indicating the balance on the account as at 30th September 2023. Remedial measures, Rufunsa Town Council shall continue to strictly adhere to CDF guidelines and the Public Finance Management Act. Appendix 3, misapplication of funds. Cause of query, funds amounting to 276,305 were misapplied by 19 cooperatives and groups. This is attributed to the beneficiaries utilizing the remitted funds to different projects than what was approved. Action taken, following the monitoring of projects by the council and the verification conducted by the Office of the Auditor General, the 19 cited groups and cooperatives were written to, guiding them to make refunds for misapplied project funds so that it's applied on the approved projects, failure to which provisions of the Public Finance Management Act number 1 of 2018 shall be enforced. We have attached letters, copies of the letters which were written. Remedial measures, close and routine monitoring of grant beneficiaries will be continuously undertaken to ensure implementation of the approved projects. D is Appendix 9.1, bursary secondary school and skills development unspent. Cause of query, the council did not spend all the funds amounting to 2,920,093 kwacha under the bursary secondary boarding school and skills development component. Action taken, Rufunsa Town Council applied for a variation of funds amounting to 2,841,905 from the secondary school skills development component to community projects for procurement of desks. Appendix 4D is attached as the approval of the variation of funds. Additionally, funds amounting to 78,188 were committed funds for students who reported to skill centers in the first quarter of 2023. Remedial measure, the council will ensure that all funds in the CDF components are spent within the fiscal year. This is reported for the consideration, Mr. Chairman. I submit.
Thank you very much, Rufunsa Town Council. Honorable members, points of clarifications, questions. Honorable Mwene.
Thank you so much, Chair and TC, for your good elaboration and your presentation. Just a general question. How do you intend to improve your budget performance on the utilization of CDF funds to ensure that all the funds are utilized during the year in which they are funded?
Honorable Mutelo.
Thank you, Chair. CS and your team. Page 2, the defective desks. Those who went to audit, at least we are seeing the cracks here. You have done good work. You have replaced all the defected desks. Where is the proof other than the letters which you just generated because you heard that you are coming? One on the 3rd January, the other one on 4th January. You just went to these head teachers and told them, now we are appearing. We'll be appearing soon. Today's date, Chair, is the 10th. They went to the head teachers on the 3rd and the 4th. That's the evidence. Didn't it strike in your mind, after seeing what the auditors did, for you to bring us some pictures? Do you think we'll just take that as gospel truth? Have you really delivered the defective desks? If yes, other than you just going to agree? Where is the evidence? Page 5. You've also brought all the completion certificates, but without proof that these projects are now done. You've been coming. What's the proof? Just for a start. Chair on that.
Thank you. Honorable Nyambose.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is on page 2. Completion of the health post at Chamlimba Primary School, Mwachirere Ward. Chair, the health post, the cause of the query is failure to electrify Chamlimba health post despite completing the construction of the structure. Chair, if you interrogate the report on that same project, there is a balance, and this is a community project. There is a balance of 30,151. Now, this project, Council Secretary, is not electrified. You have signed a memorandum of understanding to electrify it in 2023. This is 2024. Can you show us the budget that you had allocated money for electrification in 2023, arising from the memorandum of understanding that you had with the RIA? And yet you have money sitting idle there. Why couldn't you first procure solar panels for the same? Is it adequate? 2, where you have said you signed a memorandum of understanding for the year 2023, that means it ends in December. Can you show us in your CDF budget that you had allocated money for electrification of Chamlimba Health Post? I submit, Chair.
Chair, just on the same. Why would you go labor-based way in the midst of plenty? You have a lot of unspent money, and you still go the labor-based way. Why didn't you do the full contract other than doing the labor-based way? Why?
Council Secretary, can respond to those?
Thank you, Chair. I'll start with the first question. We were asked to indicate what we would do as a council to speed up utilization of the CDF funds. So on this one, the ministry has really guided in terms of the processes, and the government has even eased through the acts of parliament and the regulations in terms of procedures. So we expect that with the ease and the bottlenecks removed, they will be able to implement the projects easily. For example, in terms of procurement procedures, now we have been given unlimited threshold as a procurement entity, so in meaning that we can procure. Even the simplified bidding process is now at 1 million. So most of those projects below 1 million will not go for open bidding processes. So we expect that in implementation, that will be able to speed up in terms of the implementation of projects. On the defective desks, we have been asked, Mr. Chair, that where is the proof other than the acknowledgement? We didn't attach the photos, but we thought that an acknowledgement by a government office indicating that they have received the desks and they acknowledge, that will suffice. However, if your committee, Mr. Chair, would like us to submit the photos, we can submit them. They are available because those desks have been delivered. Then we are also told that where the pictures for the completed projects, even in that case, we are able to provide the pictures, Mr. Chairman, if we are requested to do that. We thought that the completion certificates would suffice to indicate that we have completed. And once Auditor General comes through, they can be able to verify our submission. The third question was on Chamlimba Health Post. The query, according to Auditor General, was failure to complete the projects. The project scope didn't have electrification component. It just ended at completion of the projects. And we have provided in the budget under CDF 1 million kwacha, which is deducted at source, and it will be paid direct to RIA. And we are in collaboration with RIA to have the top priorities. And so one of the priority, ITOP is one of the priorities, as well as the other two in Chamlimba Ward. So that, in terms of the actual amount which will go there, and if the 30,000 which remained on that project at the time of implementation, we couldn't have used that to electrify the project, because the project was just the scope. We couldn't. There was no provision for electrification, and what has been happening when the project is implemented and there is funding that remains, they are presented to the CDF committee, which in turn approves other projects. So that's what has been happening. So that is what I could submit, Mr. Chair. Otherwise, like rightly submitted by the Honorable Member of Parliament for Chasef, it would have been prudent to use that money which remained on that project to maybe put solar panels, because the grid is not in a nearby place. So that is what I would submit on that one. And why is, maybe if I have left any, Mr. Chairman, I can be reminded, so I can ask my colleagues to.
Labor-based? Why did you go labor-based other than giving it a full contract?
Yes, at the time, these projects were being handled labor-based, but we have since embarked on giving full contracts. This was it was in 2020. Which year was it? It started in 2019, so it was being funded and using labor-based model of implementation. Okay. But yes, Chair.
Honorable Nyambosa?
Yes, my follow-up question, Chair, is the prudence in terms of apportioning of resources. How come you have an excess of 30,000? The project is completed. What was the rationale of putting fittings if the scope did not take care of electrification? What was the rationale of putting the electrical fittings, which I see in the report that was part of the scope of work? So the other question is the same I've asked. 30,000 excess. How prudent was it that you can have excess money? And what has happened to this money? Has it been taken to another project, or what it is? What have you done? My expectation, Chair, was that they should have done a variation to complete the electrification, because everything was put. But let me hear from them.
Thank you. Council Secretary.
Chair, just to cement it.
Yes.
This was meant for electrifying. Even if there's a 1 million to be deducted from the source, we hear you. But you had the 30,000 for electrification, and the money was there. What was the problem? How much then will it cost RIA to, out of the 1 million, to electrify this health post? How much? Again, what has now happened to the 30,000? On the first defection, I hear you, and I've seen, yes, you have gone to the head teachers to acknowledge. But those who went to audit you, we are seeing this thing. No wonder I said, didn't it click in your mind that would need these pictures?
All right.
Didn't Chair,
I will respond, Chair.
I would need clarifications on the 30,000 and then now the 1 million.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. On
Before,
the
I'm sorry, Chair. There was a question, I'm sorry. There was a question to say 2023 budget. Did you indicate in the 2023 budget that this health post will be electrified, and how? So he had asked it to say, where is that proof?
Maybe, Chair, I would ask DPO to just explain a bit on the project, because it was being done from 2019. It was being funded in bits, and I gave a sweeping statement, Chair, when I said what we've been doing is when projects are completed, all the balances are reported to the committee, and new projects are implemented and submitted for approval. That's what we've been doing. So maybe I would want to weigh in and just explain on the labor-based model, which we have since stopped. We are now giving full contracts. DPO.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think my comments will be very similar to what the principal officer has noted with regards to how the question with regards to what happened to the 30,000 that remained. So all balances on projects, if we have any, are sent back to the committee to make a decision on how they are utilized. And in this case, these funds were channeled to other projects of which we could be able to provide minutes of our CDFC if need be to ensure that we have justification on the same. With regards to labor-based model, Chair, I think the projects that started before 2022 and the funding that we used to receive, we couldn't do full contracts in order to cater for the whole constituency, but went labor-based. I submit.
Thank you. Let me finish the other question. Sorry. Yeah, thank you.
Before you come, I wanted to emphasize a point, Chair. This is a health post, started in 2019, because there was need in that particular area. People need the services through this health post. Very critical. And they have funds remaining in the account. They take them to another project. Instead of topping up to put up a solar panel so that they can operationalize this health post, which is not opened up to now, and the auditors have seen that they cannot hand it over because it has no electricity. So they are waiting for this rear window before they open this one. So looking at the fittings, for me, the prudent thing the council should have done was to vary some account somewhere and connect to the solar system so that these people of Mwachile, they can have the service of the health post.
Council Secretary?
Yes, there was one question.
Maybe before you come in.
Yes.
The Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. For me, sorry to draw you back, but I just have two major concerns, and I stand to be guided. First and foremost, my number one concern is over the issue of the procurement of defected desks. My understanding is that the CDF committee is also in charge of monitoring and evaluation. And in your report, further told that it's because the hardwood was not dry. And this is your same contractor that had these, I don't know whether it's 15 or something, defected desks. So my question then would be, my concern rather would be, during the contractors, because what I know is that the CDF committee, which comprises also of your officers from the council, was supposed to do the monitoring. So to know that this contractor is not using the proper wood. So fine, we have found 15 defected desks that have been replaced. Obviously, as the year progresses, we'll find because the contractor must have been using the same wood, only that maybe those other desks have not shown the defects. So eventually, we're going to have, council secretary, a situation where by 2026, government would have spent so much money on procurement of desks, but at the end of the day, there will be nothing to show because of how we've applied and which contractors we have picked. That is my number one concern. My number two concern, Chair, I don't know whether this one I should address it to local Ministry of Local Government or the Rufunsa Council. And I stand to be guided again. I think yesterday we learned that variation of funds could only be done by Secretary to Cabinet, isn't it? Treasury, isn't it? Huh?
Maybe we give you an opportunity, senior accountant from Minister of Local Government.
Yes, because I'm a bit confused. I want to be guided so that I don't ask this question again. Because I learned yesterday that we have been doing a wrong thing where Ministry of Local Government has been doing the approval of variation of funds, isn't it? That is what I learned yesterday, because yesterday we are guided by our officers from, I think it's the lady from Ministry of Local Government that indicated that variation of funds could only be approved by, could only be allowed by Secretary to Treasury. So now I'm seeing approval of, are you?
No, go ahead.
Yes, so I'm just seeing the variation of Constituency Development Fund for Rufunsa Council. Just like our council secretary has said, approval was given Appendix 4D. So I'm a bit concerned. I need a bit of clarity because we could be allowing wrong things to proceed. Because we are told, I'm made to believe that the approval is done by one office, and I look at the appendix for proof that yes, that is why the variation of those funds were done by another office. So I stand to be guided.
Okay.
Maybe it was one of those hours I was dozing, but I think I heard clearly.
Minister of Local Government, before the CS comes in, local government just on...
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Honorable Vice Chair, to the committee. The variations as submitted in our induction is that it's in two categories. There is a financial and treasury circular issued to councils, giving them thresholds, beyond which thresholds that is only amenable to the ministry's contact with the treasury. So the amounts I think the council could be indicating as at now is within the thresholds, and then within the circular that guides them also has a limit as to the movements of funds from one component to another. So I think that's what I would submit. We'll definitely, through the Secretariat, avail to the committee members the copies of the same Treasury and Financial Management Circular, so that maybe even the limitations and the variation arrangements could guide the members. I submit, Chair.
Yes, yes. So the monies that you are that you needed to vary, how much was that? Because it's supposed to go up to 1 million, isn't it? That one was approved by. No. Yeah, this one was done by the ministry, isn't it? Approved by the ministry. But now you can only go up to 1 million as a local authority, isn't it? Okay, you can.
Maybe may I respond, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, please go ahead.
Just one pending. We have one pending response.
Yes, yes, please
as
go
raised
ahead.
by Honorable Member for Chasef on the Chamlimba. He wanted to know what we provided for in the 2023, the 1 million. So the way the RIA, we are working with RIA. So we simply submit our top priorities in terms of projects, and then the engineers at RIA will work with our engineering department to come up with BOQs and costings within the 1 million. So we only do the projects that we can in 1 million. So we don't have an actual amount. And then coming to the good suggestion from the honorable member, yes, we could have used that balance to do the panels, or what should have been done could have been to just present to the committee to say there is this money, maybe let's buy solar panel. Right now, as we are talking, the facility is in use. It was completed. All what is not there is connection to power. But what we have been doing in all our projects, we do the wiring. And then with the RIA coming on board, Rural Electrification Authority, we'll have the grid nearby and then we can connect. So that is the model we have been following. I thought that clarifies the question from Honorable Member of Parliament for Chasefu. Then the Deputy Chair for the committee wanted to know on the desks having cracks. We have taken a remedial measure like we submitted in terms of going forward. So the desks which were defective was highlighted. After we discovered those had cracks, and the officers from Watergen were saying these cracks they may expand further. So we had to engage the contractors to replace these, and they have since replaced. So if there will be any defect in these desks, within 1 year, we expect them to replace. So that's a safeguard that we have put in place, Mr. Chairman. And it would interest you, Chair, to note that we procured quite a lot of desks, and only these 29 were defective, and they have since been replaced as we have submitted. On the variation, I think the circular from the Secretary Cabinet Treasury is instructive on the variation. It was done on firm ground.
Honorable Kampamba.
Just, Council Secretary, I'm just taken aback. We know, I mean, for us to have an effective system, an effective governance, we must also speak to what is pertaining on the ground. Most of, I'm sure, these contractors that you had put to make the desk, I believe, are local contractors, small growing businesses. Of course, there's a warranty of 1 year. But the realistic truth on the ground is that even after 2 months, to go back to that contractor to say, can you do more desks? Because they have been defective, will seem impossible. And this is where we're going to have a problem. A year from now, we will not have desks. For me, I think you should strengthen your monitoring and evaluation when those products are done to avoid such things. Because at the end of the day, you can, but there will be nothing that you'll be able to do. Because I believe you me, the people that have done the desks have been paid, go to their accounts, they don't even have the money. So what you will do is that it will just be a vicious circle, one thing after the other. 2 days, the desks are there because they're afraid and whatever. For me, my advice to the council is that, can we strengthen our monitoring and evaluation? Let's not allow problems. You know, let's not be, what do you call that? Yes, let's not be firefighters. That's why your monitoring team should have known that these people that are making these desks are not using the proper wood. Believe you me, we are lucky that we even had a sign that they were defective. I'm sure our children are having a tough time, even sitting on those desks, because wood of you know. So eventually, as we go into meaning, obviously, you know the meaning. So we are going to have a problem. So for me,
make sure you give us the language that everybody will understand.
Meaning, we are going to have more defective desks, and eventually the Ministry of Education and other institutions which are providing desks will have a problem. So it's not an issue of them replacing. It's an issue of the long-run term ineffectiveness of our contractors. And also, Chair, maybe in how we pick the contractors is also very, very important. These are public funds. We are paying tax. Not everyone that comes can make desks. That's why we're having problems like that. So let's start sidelining these contractors and bring in proper people that can that can do the jobs, regardless of where they're coming from.
Thank you. Honorable Simumba and then Honorable Nyambos.
Chair, for me, I think my question is on page 6.
Page 6.
Yes. Failure to spend. And the chair, my concern is when the auditors were there, I think they were on the 30th September, they had to find that there was 8,661,538 unspent. And also, the action taken, the council is saying they have spent all the money by 30th again September 2023. I wanted to find out how. When I went to Appendix 5, Chair, you find that on the same date again, that's where they were debiting. So I would want to be cleared how.
Thank you.
Yes. I submit, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. The first one I have is on page 4, Chair. This is failure to collect repayments on loans to the total of 1,175,625. Chair, down there on the action taken report, the loan agreement signed between the loan beneficiaries and Rufunsa Town Council provides that the first payments shall be 60 days from the date of getting the loan, and they have attached evidence. Now, the question that I have is that during the time of audit, they didn't show the auditors the 60 days moratorium that they signed with the what? What happened for them not to avail this evidence to the auditors, for the auditors to pick it as a query and put it in here? And it did not have an interest charge of 2% on the delay on the loans. But them, they are saying that there was this agreement that was reached to start deducting after 60 days. But why, during the time of audit, they didn't show the auditors? My second one, Chair, is on page 6. Town Clerk, take note, on the misapplication of funds to the tune of 276,305. Chair, cause of the query. Funds amounting to 276,305 were misapplied by 19 cooperatives and groups. This is attributed to the beneficiaries utilizing the remitted funds to different projects than what was approved. Action taken. Following the monitoring of the projects by the Council, the verification conducted by the Office of the Auditor General, the 19 cited groups and the cooperatives were written to, guiding them make refunds. Now, if you follow the evidence, Chair, I've read through, they only wrote in January. It comes back to what the Vice Chairperson has been emphasizing. At which point did the Council realize that these groups had misapplied these monies from the intended projects to other projects? And some of them could have used the money on no project at all. At which point, if there is monitoring and evaluation or monitoring of projects by the Council, do you monitor these groups or you wait for the auditors? That's when you go around. I've seen the evidence. It was done after the audit, and in January. That's when the town clerk started writing that you'd not, it was in November, yes, after the audit. So that is my question, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Shakafuswa.
Yeah, mine was also in line with the last question from Honorable Nyambose. However, from the action taken, I note that you wrote to these 19 groups on the 29th of November, and you gave them 30 days, to which you told them that you would enforce the public Finance Management Act number 1 of 2018. I note that the 30 days has elapsed. I wish to find out from you how many have paid back, and if none have paid, have you invoked the provisions of the law cited? I thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Council Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The first question was on the unspent funds. I think the auditors, when they picked 8,661,538. This was as at 31st December 2022, because that's the period under review. So that's the amount. So we've provided evidence by showing the bank statement from our bank. It is attached to indicate that as at 30th September, the balance which we're having is 166,000. Essentially, we've spent all the money. That is the first question. The other question was failure to collect repayment of loans because of the moratorium provided in the agreement. So we've been asked to say, why didn't you present this to the auditors at the time they were auditing? So this repayment, the agreement forms part, is part of the regulations. So it's a given that the Auditor General has that, they have the regulations which shows the moratorium in the agreement. Then the other question was misapplication of funds. We wrote in November to the groups, on 20th November to be specific, after it was cited that there's this misapplication. We have monitoring agreements, we have monitoring reports which show how that we've been engaging the committees, we've been engaging the clubs. But then we found that even the instructions they were being given as on those monitoring visits by our officers and the teams, the time the Auditor General was auditing, this came out. And admittedly, that on 20th, that's when we wrote and engaged to them. On 29th? Okay, we've attached a letter. It's showing 29th. The date stamp is showing 29th. But the letter is showing 20th. And then in terms of what have we then done, this is it being an issue that affects, so we are trying to seek guidance from the ministry. We'll be able to do that and maybe present later our action to Auditor General. Because at the moment, we have not yet taken an action on these groupings, because the money was given as empowerment grants. And they had indicated some of them want to do chicken run, then they do maybe village banking or something. So that's how come the query is coming. But the financial regulations, the Public Finance Management Act is very clear. If someone misapplies, that's financial misconduct. And once they are prosecuted and found guilty, they can even be imprisoned. So that is the route that we'll be able to take, Mr. Chairman. I submit,
Yes,
Chair.
Yes, Honorable Nyambose.
Chair, I think this is where we have a problem.
Yes.
We come up with regulations which stipulates how we should conduct ourselves. And if we misconduct ourselves, these are the sanctions. And you read very well, Council Secretary. You go back to the ministry who has given you the financial regulations to implement. And can you show this committee evidence that you have gone back to the ministry after the 30 days, that you wrote to the ministry for instructions, for further instructions? When you know the financial regulations, these are public resources. You know that at which point, if you reach this point, these are the sanctions. And the ministry has done its part, the government has done its part, and they have employed you to apply the sanctions. First, you failed to write to them on time, then later on, you are asking for the ministry. Can we have the evidence? And if this is the trend, are we going to manage to secure these public resources? The laws are very straight, Chairperson. Thank you so much.
Yes, Chair. No, maybe I may want to retract, like when I said we have consulted the ministry, if that's what I said, I did say we've consulted. I was saying, because from the time we wrote, first week of January, that's when we are supposed to take action. So the ministry, it's basically to just inform our superiors to say, this is the position, the empowerment funds have been misapplied. And so the next step is prosecution. So meaning we have to, when we are taking such a decision of that magnitude, we're supposed to liaise with our superiors to say, this is the decision we've made. So we've actually taken note of the guidance of the Honorable Member of Parliament through the committee chair. The action will be taken within this week. If you look at the date from 29th to 29th December, and we were now preparing to appear before PAC, the action has not been taken yet. But this is an action we have to take before the end of this month.
Yeah. But did you engage your ministry?
No,
it's like you wrote to them, and they are not responding, and time is running out.
We've not written to the ministry. I was saying this is a period we are trying to now take an action by presenting this matter to the CDFC committee. Once they sit, we say this is the position, and then they are informed that this is action we want to take because we wrote to them. So there has to be that formal reporting to the CDFC committee. Because in as much as we've written, we can't, a member of parliament and the committee members of CDF can't just see that their groupings, those groups who are funded are now appearing before the magistrate court. So once we inform them, just for their information, then we take action. So that will be done before the end of this month, Mr. Chair.
Honorable Simumba, then Vice Chairperson. Honorable Simumba.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think, Chair, there is a monitoring vehicle that the government has procured. That's why you have seen there is even a company that used uncured timber for desks, because there is no one who is monitoring. And also, it implies with these 19 cooperatives that they have used these funds to a project that they never applied for. I wanted to find out, what is it, what are you using that vehicle for? Council Secretary, if you have got a vehicle and then you cannot use it for monitoring. So we want to know, what is the purpose of that vehicle if you cannot use it to an unintended purpose? Submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. CS, how effective is that?
Thank you, Chair. I'll just ask the deputy to just explain, because I mentioned in passing about the monitoring. I request that maybe she just clarifies.
All right, just before she comes in, just an addition to that.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Council Secretary, I believe that for any project to be approved by the CDF committee, there is what they call project
appraisal.
Yes, project appraisal. So my question then would be, your team, your council and your CDF committee, when they were doing the project appraisal, did they not get to the ground? If somebody said they were doing chickens, I'm sure in the appraisal you saw the chicken runs. Whatever project it is, you obviously, for you as a CDF committee, I'm saying you as a CDF committee because you're secretary to the CDF committee. How then did we have this lapse of allowing people to get money for projects and put money into other projects? Then again, my worry would be, Council Secretary, with your CDF committee, I have a feeling that our taxpayers' money, our hard-earned taxpayers' money, is probably going to people, faces that we know. We are not really giving out money to deserving people that are supposed to get the money and enhance their projects. Because I know when you are doing your project appraisal, these are probably people that are, if it's chicken rearing, they want money. There is evidence that these people, and I think these are the revised guidelines, there is evidence that these people already have exposure to such a project. Now, for 19 cooperatives to get money, and I've seen the money, some of it is 118, 100 and whatever, and Rufunsa is rural, it's not even peri-urban, it's rural. So even as you take action to take these people to court, they'll never give you back the money. These are poor people that will just suffer in jail or whatever. So again, it's a concern. You know, is it a question of just taking them, we give out the money and then take them to court? So for me, I feel the council in itself, the CDF committee, is not doing what it's supposed to do. Because for you to be in that committee, you are given a mandate by the people of Rufunsa to safeguard their finances. And you as council, being the secretary of that committee, you are the ones where the money comes in. You cannot just be dishing out money. If it's 2 programs, yes, 2 cooperatives would understand. But CS 19 and above it's a bit too much.
All right.
You know?
Your response.
Yes.
You said.
Yes, Chair. But with what has been said, may I just start with that? Then I ask the secretary to CDF committee to explain on the monitoring aspect and the appraisals. I would want to dispel the notion that the executive is selective in giving grants to the groups who are beneficiaries. As the executive of government, we actually are accommodative of all people without taking into account which groupings they come from, their religious standing. So I would want to indicate and put it on record, Chair, that as executive in Rufunsa, we are not selective. So meaning that everyone is given an equal chance. The process is transparent. We advertise both on social media, on our notice board, everywhere, and everyone is given an equal chance. And the law is applied even without being selective. So I thought I should just dispel that and then ask the DPO, who is the secretary to the committee, to indicate the efforts we've been doing, and we have reports. If we requested, we could actually present. Allow me to ask DPO Chair to. DPO.
Thank you very much, Chair. With regards to the monitoring of the projects, I think our initial monitoring, where we did discover that some clubs had misapplied funds, was done in April, and thereafter the clubs that were affected were invited to the local authority for some form of retraining and guidance on how they can best apply the funds that they were given in an appropriate manner and for the projects that they applied for. I think that should have been somewhere in July. It's regrettable, Chair, that these clubs too have not been able to raise some of the funds, because in some cases, of course, they may have applied to buy a hammer mill, but they claim that their money was not enough to buy the hammer mill. So they ventured into a chicken rearing so that they get top-up money to do that, and then they've got challenges. And this is what has led us to be able to write to them to indicate that they have no option but to apply for the projects that they intended for. And with regards to, oh yes, of course, the principal officer is reminding me on when we received our monitoring vehicle. It should have been in the second quarter of 2022. Of course, we had challenges with transport prior to that, but the vehicle is in use, and we share it as best as possible amongst the departments that need to use it. For the appraisal of the projects, Chair, the CDF for 2022, I think with our communities came with, for lack of a better term, a bang. So we did experience new registration or new groupings that made numerous applications and did not have a track record of having done some of the projects that they've applied for. But these are the groupings that we still intended to empower. And as such, the major tool that we relied on was the project proposals that they submitted in terms of how much they needed and the breakdown of the costs of how much they would need to do the projects that they applied for. So generally, we used their proposals as a backup because some of them were startups. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, as we wind up Minister of Local Government, Rural Development.
Thank you, Chair. I thought we could place on record the submission by CS where he said they'll be writing the ministry for guidance on those misapplied groups or cooperatives. I think what is key to mention is what Honorable Nyambose submitted and the Vice Chair. These guidelines are issued to guide any sub-layer of governance to implement and implement to the latter end. I think within the guidelines, if for instance a cooperative A changes the initial intended undertaking, it's provided for them to indicate in writing back to the same approving CDFC committee. So I think these are issues that councils, not only Rufunsa, but every council need to take keen interest to interpret the guidelines as they are and enforce them as such. So I think that is what I thought we could emphasize. Equally is to do the right thing from the word go, like the issues of the desks. Let us enhance the monitoring and evaluation. The ministry would not be everywhere, but you are the agents of government. So let us do as what is prescribed. I thought I could make such a submission, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Council Secretary and your team, we appreciate your appearance before this committee, but we want to put it on record that now that you have been given the monitoring vehicle, you have the fuel, you have everything, we don't expect this council to come here and give us those excuses like you have seen on the desks that people use wrong materials to make desks when we have the vehicle that would be checking. And above all, we do not expect you to run a project like it has been running from 2019 because it was on labor-based, and now that we are giving contracts, every other project, we want them to be completed. We do not want to hear, no, the project has not been completed because we have been doing it slowly. And just like my colleagues have put it, that when you have those excess funds, when you have the funds that you feel should be used somewhere or have excess funds, you need to quickly go to the committee and let the committee make that decision. And for those 19 cooperatives misapplications, just like we have said before, that it all bows on the fact that you are not monitoring them. You give out the monies and the council remains quiet in offices and people are doing whatever they want to do. At the end of the day now, you start chasing them and start threatening them. The people that you didn't teach, the people that you didn't guide. Because when you give them monies, I believe there are even workshops where you train them and allow people to do the right thing. So we do not expect this council to come back next year with these queries. We know you didn't have a lot of queries, but everything that is coming now is under CDF, and CDF we are very strict because the amount is increasing every year. So if you fail to handle the amounts that you are given this year or you are given last year, it means next year we have a problem. So I want you to go back and put your house in order and make sure that everything is above board. With that, then allow me to remove the immunity that was conferred on you at the beginning of our interaction, and I allow you to go back to Rufunsa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks so much. My full names are Mishek Mtetwa Nyambose. I'm from Ezuleni village, Chief Pikamalaza. My father was Mr. Davison Mtetwa Mishek Nyambose. My mother was from Lupafia village within Chief Pikamalaza, Tamarirapo Chipeta. They are all late. I went to school. I started school in 1977 at Chongwe Primary School. I finished my school in 1989. I joined Chongwe District Council. I've worked in the local authorities. From there, in the course of my work, I was identified by my colleagues at Chongwe District Council to represent them in the union. So I've been a unionist. From the time that I joined the council in 1995, I went into the union. Although at school, again, I was a prefect, a house captain from Chinga House. I was a footballer, active footballer. I was in a drama. So I was an active member at school. Then in my work life, I joined the council, went into the union. Whilst I was working for Chongwe District Council, I became very active, you know, working, pushing for the better conditions of the people that I represented at Chongwe Council. I came into the political life. It started in Chongwe, 2016. I was identified by the people. But because I was not so much active in the party, I don't know what happened. The party that I wanted to relate with, they left me out. I went back to my home. I was called. Can you come here? We are seeing you in the National Executive Committee of the Zambia Congress of Trade Unions. You are a national figure, fighting and uplifting the welfare of the workers in this country. Why can't you come here and do it? I went back to home. And it was very easy because when I just accepted that, the people took it upon themselves, because I've been hearing about their own son who is contributing to the national welfare. Now he should come to Chasefu. I found some people. We went into contestation. The people picked me. I tried to continue with the party that I thought I can relate with. It failed again. What did I say? I said I would give up. But the people insisted, you are our own. We see the potential in you. And we want you to lead us because we have seen what you are. You are a people-centric person. Because that's what I am. I like the people, especially the ordinary people who cannot have food, who cannot afford to get fertilizer, who cannot afford to get the basic things. So I went in, and it was overwhelming. I went through and I was elected. And I thank the people of Chasefu for that. That is why I always want to identify myself with my constituency, which is Chasefu, my home. And I'm enjoying so far. I'm a married person with 6 children. My constituency, Chasefu constituency, is a rural constituency, which was created in 1973, if not mistaken. It's an old constituency, but a new district. The district was formally declared as district in 2018. The constituency is an old one. We have had eminent MPs who have been there. They did a lot that time. But when you look at Chasefu now, it's really in a very dire situation. This is not exaggerated. If there's one of the underdeveloped constituency in this country, Chasefu is one of them. Imagine, Chasefu has no boarding school. No boarding school at all. It has no infrastructure. It's now that we have built a civic center, a new civic center which has not yet been commissioned. It was a sub-bomber of Lundazi. We thank the Catholic who have a hospital called Kanyanga Hospital. They have been there offering a service to the community, and that is the only hospital that has been helping what we call our hospital. Although now, of the recent years, there was a mini hospital that was built. It has not yet been fully operationalized. So it's a new thing. And that is the thing that we are working on to ensure that we can have a staff establishment and everything. So, Chasefu is a rural constituency with the very deplorable roads. Water is a major challenge. I'm talking about clean and safe drinking water befitting a human being. That is not there. Very few boreholes. People are drinking with wild animals. Roads going to Chinana, Msoromoka, Chamsoro, everywhere the roads are bad. So, this is how I can describe my constituency. It's a constituency that needs immediately to see that we are moving to change in terms of bringing development closer to the people. My agenda is to see to it, number one, the Lundazi Chama Road is done. Number two, Chasefu boarding should be completed. And also to have another boarding school, 2 or 3. Chasefu is big. So if you can have secondary schools, boarding schools, our children will not go to other places for schools. We have got very intelligent children of ours who need boarding schools. The other thing is to ensure that Chasefu has passable roads, whether in the village, wherever we should have good roads passable that every person can appreciate. And that is the agenda that I have. Number one, I said, is the Lundazi Chama Road. This is our prayer that if this road can be tarred, because it links us to Nakonde, it links us to Chipata. I've said Lundazi Chama. But if this road can be done up to Chipata, coming to Saka, we shall be able, our people want to also to move on good roads, tarmacs, like any other part of the country. And also our people can be able to access Nakonde, buy their goods for resale from Tanzania. They can access easily to Malawi. They can access easily to Chanida border in Katete. This is the main agenda. The other thing is to ensure that we have good water. For our Emusa sub-boma, we need a water reticulation system, piped water for our CBD. From Egitkeni, Emusa should have piped water. So if this is done, and I want to take this opportunity to say that government, the current New Dawn government, has given us 80 boreholes. And the contractor is already identified. So he should be mobilizing to start drilling these boreholes. Besides these boreholes, we are given a water kiosk for the CBD so that we can have piped water. People should be getting water in our CBD. That's number one. The other issue is we need health care system. For instance, we need the mini hospital to be operationalized so that we can have doctors, and it should be a referral center. We have been given a mortuary unit. We have already sat as a CDF committee to ensure we have our own mortuary. People from Chasefu, they bury, our relative dies now, in the evening they are buried. Because we don't have anywhere to take our beloved ones. We don't give them befitting send-off. If either those who can manage, they take their bodies to Rumezi. Because the Lundazi one, as I'm speaking, is also down. So our mortuary unit, we have already decided we are building a mortuary unit so that this machine can be there. So if we have good health centers, health posts, roads, water, Chasefu will not be the same. The other issue that I wanted to mention is the police and security. As I'm speaking, Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, I pushed up a question to demand that we should have our police station in Chasefu. And the government has responded that they are going to build a police station with 40 housing units for police officers. As you may be aware, Chasefu borders with Chama South, this side, Chama North, this side, Lundazi, and Malawi. The biggest stretch is our friends in Malawi, a porous border. So security is an issue in Chasefu. And I want to thank the position by government that they should build a police station and the health and police posts in all those areas. The other issue I forgot to mention is the issue of the network, telephone network. That is an issue. So I've been engaging the Ministry of Technology, Science and Technology, to ensure that we have connectivity so that when we have security concerns, our people are able to. When we have business to transact, the people of Chasefu should feel part of this country. They are able to access network and transact, and our children are able to Google and do anything research because there's network. So this is my desire and the desire of the people of Chasefu so that Chasefu can change. We are lucky we have been given 473 teachers for the first time. So this is an issue that we are going to focus our CDF to ensure that we build housing units for civil servants, teachers, clinic officers, and agriculture officers, so that they can have an environment befitting a civil servant. Then we are going to build so many classroom blocks and health posts so that we can see the development and people of Chasefu feel part and parcel of this country. Otherwise, I'm determined and have the support of the people. We are working very well with the traditional leadership, Senior Chief Magodi 6 and Chief Pikamaraza, and all the traditional leaders. They are behind to ensure that we work with the government to ensure that Chasefu can be a district or a constituency of a modern nature. My appeal to the people of Chasefu is that let us continue working together, and please let us love one another and ensure that we develop Chasefu. Let's come together for the purpose of development. Let us share these ideas. As you are aware, it's a bottom-up arrangement. The ward development committees, CDF committees or district committees, the council, all the councillors, the council chairperson, the district commissioner, and the member of parliament, with the president. If we work together, Chasefu will be a changed person. I want to thank them, and they should continue supporting me the way they've been supporting me. I'm committed to transforming Chasefu.
Parliament TV, bringing Parliament closer to you.
with me, knowing that you are with me by my side. Every time mistake is letting you go in the hands of another man. I cannot imagine without you. I'm like soup without salt in it. Putting you in a magazine. Baby, could you wanna recover Kunguru Mensada? I've been not trained now to do the kung fu. Baby, for you, I'm gonna be crazy like a fool. Do, you know, boo boo, baby. How much I love you. I love you. Putting a ring on your finger will be like a ring. You and I together, they go honeymoon. It can end with everybody, but not you. It's a lie if I say I don't love you. And I like something I've never seen before. You and I like a song I've never done before. You and I like something I've never seen before. You and I like a song I've never done before. Goes like do 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 do. Like do 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 do. Song I've never done before. Oh baby, my pressure ya patalo ya kakupesha. You don't have to worry about it by your side. Oh, it's a blessing just to have you by my side each and every day. I just wanna show you how special you are in every way. Mabanga konika ya kanchibu shari osekumacha. We munandi we rimbo wandi we pilodi osekumbata. You and I like something I've never seen before. You and I like a song I've never done before. You and I like something I've never seen before. You and I like a song I've never done before. Goes like do 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 do. A song I've never done before. Goes like do 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 do. Nakateka, teka, teka, gatapali nakateka, teka. Kaipone na keka, keka, kaka mtima takateka, teka. Paliwe kutina basilo kila, ukayenda sanga nzaksa kila. Now no, I don't understand anymore, what kind of love is this? You and I like something I've never seen before. You and I like a song I've never done before. You and I like something I've never seen before. You and I like a song I've never done before. Goes like do 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 do. A song I've never done before. Goes like do 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 do.
Representing to the fullest chiller one and dancehall daddy for the girl. 44J music.
Oh yeah, chameleon.
Kalandanya Music Promotion.
Uimona huku chuluku. Love me the way I am. Uimona huku chuluku. Amaboko haya yanabomba ya. Yakula bombela pewe. Baby, love me the way I am. Uimona huku chuluku. Amaboko haya yanabomba ya. Yakula bombela pewe. falla bonse Pamukumo Apele vindu panono 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 Wala lole Pala mupere pale kwaya Lesa wa bonse Teti anda weko naine Ngala kuomela bebe Ngala kuchulila mayo Iwe na bana bangi Nangu bibi peshani Nangu bishu peshani I'll be there. Love me the way I am. We mona ukuchulo. Amaboko aya la bomba. Yakula bombela baby. Baby, love me the way I am. We mona ukuchulo. Amaboko aya la bomba Yakula bombela baby Iwe Nakasuba baby Ebyo kaba kalengina nokufuma lyonse Life ya pachalo Nati take me to Kalomapita Munse Oh, and I see the sun rise up I'll be there to wipe my tears I'll cry no more, no more Oh, but the Monday, let's not go in there I'm punya papita, I'm the kapabuta Will you be there for me? Love me the way We mona ukuchulo Amaboko aya la bomba Yakula bombela baby I love you the way I am We mona ukuchulo Amaboko aya la bomba Yakula bombela Kakula lole sakundumbai Hatimona fe Kutufumile uktadi Cause you were right by my side Da wakumine kunangu wande Come let me high Kabila bapole, walelile komweo, abo bambi balechula mutifungwe. Pamulandu bapangile bambi lutembo bati bakapa iwoli chemino. Kwenya iwoli kobwino. Aso iwoli kobwino iwe. Walikumanda iwe. promotion mwandi yengi fe sana ngakuya ngakale fe kwikiri sana wilai dishanya ni webo papana ni webo makali abasiba makwana tewe mama waluse umabatana chikutunga sana chisatana ifo tufwire fe kwikatana ngavino benishife vyambatila ngavyambona ninka nshife finkakila chikangana matefe fyazakila fyebe viwe fe bize na chimpapila bantu bebi ngajawaishiwa ndiwe mzima I feel it in my body, unkola kwatini dogo mami tetimbe nogo nalefwa afi wakubana kwa mulolo awe tetimbe solo udia excellent ya kwatindiri solo alemponya fe solo sonebo kubwe kela mokulia ni nono iyo mwadi ni oyo mami ndati enteko wina asemtima wanga tembeni nae ndakale mazu mazevu wa mama ndiwe mtima wanga ngati enteko wina asemtima tembeni nae ndakale mazu mazevu wa mama ndiwe mtima wanga ogoliweka udizima alelele video ni women muchalo ni webo feweka umbika kuchalo pulizi wikapunda pona nguzalonga watu malioze mpunda vyati halo nafuna kukwatila ni balo wewatekanya kwati mamayo wimona swagi tatuli mayo pano fya umefeta pali mario iwe kula lumba fye shaka fifa ule kalumba fye ololesa vetete andeke isiudara la vipusha kandeke wembutu enseke wile kanseke ndiwe mzima wanga so baby I want you to know ngati enteko wina asemtima wanga semeli naenda kale maji ndiwe mzima wanga ngati enteko wina asemtima semeli naenda kale maji ndiwe mzima KMP worldwide. Let's go. Yo boy, yo ma. You know how we do this. DJ Kandek. Mr. Showcase. All for entertainment forever. Unjao.
Shade DJ Entanglement.
Kasama Swagga Boy. Chenzo Mbale. Muzo aka Alfonso. Mbalule zigulira mama. Program yali sibikwa kali okulanda kupoza festa. Blackout Mbale. M-Beats Music.
M-Beats Music.
Nimuli wa Yesu fye. Yali sibikwa chabu pezi. Nagwada pansi chauta mundipate mpata. Mundipate mpata ine. Ngakale yandinene it doesn't matter. Ine kuimba ndi mpaso yanga chauta ndipate mpata. Somalimbana limbana ndanyamata ndalepera. Umoyo wanga ndizausebenzera. Mukandipata mpata panja yanga ndizaivutikira ine. Umoyo wanga achauta ndizausebenzera ine. Muzo aka Alfonso. Mukandipata mpata panja yanga ndizaivutikira. Molesta wandi ndepokulanda pali fintu ninga paba nandi nalibanete lanteli bapanga kwati matanja barwani bandi kumona bafelefele bandi amano yandi tayatela bapopendi ni muri imwe fedio senti tatipendi ngata bali bwino sana bena inendi laka nsile titapuli tendi kwatilisa bimuli bondi ndemfa kwati muchimana ni muri bondi odini kuno ebondi Ngangisheni kwechikondi nagwada pansi chauta mundipatse mpata ngakhale yandinene it doesn't matter ine kuimba ndi mpaso yanga chauta ndipatse mpata zomalimbana nyamata ndalepera umoyo wanga nizausebenzela mukandipatsa mpata banja yanga nizaivutikira umoyo wanga achauta nizausebenzela mukandipatsa mpata banja yanga nizaivutikira itabupeti nimwemwelesa mwampa nalimo wako sokufuma pena pakutyampa ndiakambati kwa pafiko pena pafipampa kumashozi yantijonse tila pampa nchifwaya ukuluzinga tempo mutima wanji wabakwati ndiwakukasempa ngaichikwakwa banang'ani ndabakwempa balapona pansi ndimukali kumakwempa isaka mumakumbi nalishimpa iseko lyonse bunang'ani eboshimpa umuntu kukosana ukupimpa yadishibikwa kalyala kupimpa nagwada pansi chauta mundipatse mpata ngakhale yandinene it doesn't matter ine kuimba ndi mpaso yanga chauta ndipatse mpata zomalimbana nyamata ndalepera umoyo wanga ndizausebenzela umweyo wandi mukandipatsa mpata banja yanga ndizaivutikira ine umoyo wanga achauta ndizausebenzela ine umweyo wandi mukandipatsa mpata banja yanga ndizaivutikira mwaine mwishi muzolewekale vyonso nangufaiya mwilapa imisabya munkoma kiyachali kwebikavali ili ashili alishibikwa kali okulanira kupoza benshita akapondo mu sunglasses the recovery abali nensala bapose kwa malo sana balapenta DJ Mzenga man the big boss race to the cool asili Sons hanga kusiye usalegerele mwana kungala mwana wa masiye walilubile ko but your child is not a mistake kutina kaposa shaka fyeleneka efyonanda padanishiwikelewe baby you never know that your child is a blessing from up above you better know that everything is gonna be good, yeah, baby, mama. Yeah. You are so strong, I know that you like to look shiny, mama. Yeah. Everything is gonna be alright, baby, mama. Look in the mirror, tell yourself you don't need anybody, mama. Yeah. Everything is gonna be okay. Move on, I never said I am done. Wake up and do what you think you can. Scooby-Doo, baby. Nalishiba kuzabayiba n'enkondo umwana niwe umubire enkondo umwana wobe n'enkondo yabugutwala kwishiri takabati nga mwavyala nishimwazapula no remember the tomorrow keep on pushing the dreams that you've been pushing baby you got a vision about tomorrow we can never mention baby keep on pushing everything is gonna be good yeah baby mama yeah. You are so strong I know that you like to look shot daily mama yeah. Everything is gonna be alright baby mama look in the mirror tell yourself you don't need anybody mama yeah. Everything is gonna be okay move on I never said I am done wake up and do what you think you can Scooby-Doo, baby dear single mothers single mother keep on pushing single mother everything is gonna be okay single mother baby mama. You are so strong, I know that you let you look daily, mama. Yeah, everything is gonna be alright, baby mama. Look in the mirror, tell yourself you don't need anybody, mama. Yeah, everything is gonna be okay. Move on and never say die and done. Wake up and do what you think you can. Scooby-Doo, baby, do-do-do-do-do. Move on and never say die and done. Wake up and do what you think you can. Scooby-Doo, baby, do-do-do-do-do.
Parliament TV, bringing Parliament closer to you.
The National Assembly of Zambia established constituency offices in all constituencies during the period 2003 to 2006. The offices were established with a view to improve the member-constituent relationship by increasing the frequency, quality of interaction between members of parliament and the citizens. To this effect, all the 156 constituencies have a constituency office. Presiding officers have a program of work to familiarize themselves with operations at all the constituency offices. The second Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia, Honorable Moses Moyo, who is also chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Reforms and Modernization, accompanied by some staff of the National Assembly, undertook a tour of some constituencies in Northwestern Province. The Honorable Second Deputy Speaker and his entourage had the first assignment at Solwezi East Parliamentary Constituency in Mushindamo District, situated at St. Dorothy area in Kalilele Ward. The team was on arrival, met by Area Member of Parliament Dr. Alex Katakwe and other local senior government officials and civic leaders. The Honorable Second Deputy Speaker briefed the Area Member of Parliament, his constituency office staff and government officials, and outlined the purpose of his visit.
As you may be all aware that last year a new government was ushered in, and subsequently we were elected as presiding officers of the National Assembly. Hence the reason to be here. Madam Speaker was the first one to embark on a familiarization tour of Western Province. She didn't manage to conclude. She's yet to go there. And the other Deputy Speaker will also go to other provinces. And then I was assigned by Madam Speaker to come to Northwestern and Luapula and Northern. We'll visit 9 constituencies in these provinces for now, and resources permitting, we should be able to come back to visit Ikerenge and Mwinilunga.
The Area Member of Parliament gave the general overview of the constituency and highlighted some challenges the area faces and also potential opportunities that exist in the constituency.
This district is endowed with natural resources. We have down south in Chief Mjimanzo the Pride Gem mine for emeralds. And if you have heard this year, they have actually declared over $1.2 million dividend to the government. It's coming from actually this district. Although we still remain poor, those are issues that we are actually advancing as an area member of parliament representing the people of Solwezi East. Up north again, the First Quantum Minerals have done the setup of a mine anytime soon they will be opening up that mine, because the environmental impact assessment were all done, and then the mineral licenses, everything was approved. So we are waiting actually for them to get on the ground. Once they are on the ground, we expect that our border area will also develop just like the way Karumbila has developed. We have high potential actually of contributing to the economic development of this country. The distance from Katanga, Lubumbashi there, coming to Kasumbalesa is over 100 kilometers. But from Lubumbashi to Kipushi border is only less than 30 kilometers. So most of the people in Congo, they have been crying that if this border can be opened, then we can decongest Kasumbalesa. So our appeal through your office, as you have visited us, is that speak also on our behalf that Mushindamo can actually rise to the occasion, to the level of development, and also contribute to the GDP of this country.
Solwezi East Constituency Office is one of the constituencies that has a permanent office constructed by the National Assembly and has since moved from the old rented structure situated near the police post. The entourage then proceeded to pay a courteous call on His Royal Highness Senior Chief Kalilele of the Lamba-speaking people of Mushindamo district, in whose chiefdom the office is situated. His Royal Highness was not available at the time of the visit, but was represented by Senior Induna, Mr. Sidini Kunambalata. The Honorable Second Deputy Speaker and his entourage proceeded to Solwezi and started by paying a courteous call on the provincial administration, where they were met on arrival by area member of our parliament, who is also government chief whip, Honorable Stafford Mulusa, and other government officials. Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary Colonel Wishcott Katambi, retired, welcomed the Honorable Second Deputy Speaker and made the following remarks.
So you are welcome. This is part of Zambia and the richest province. The MP of Solwezi Central, accompanying MPs, the mayor, my DPS, DC, the media, may I simply say, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Colonel Grandson Wishcott Katambi, retired. I'm the PS Northwestern Province. Sir, you are welcome with the entourage. We have been waiting for you since morning, but of course we are told you had some other engagements on the way. But all the same, sir, we're happy that you have managed to come here. This is Northwestern Province, which I've already said, part of Zambia. Sir, where you are now, in this province, we have got 11 districts. 11 districts, namely Solwezi, Mushindamo, Kalumbila, Mwenelunga, Ikele, Nkasempa, Mufumbwe, Manyinga, Kabompo, Zambezi, and Chavuma. Now, from those 11 districts, we have got 12 constituencies. I'm sure you are wondering as to why. So we have got them as follows. We have got what I've already gone through, except that in Zambezi, you have got Zambezi East and Zambezi West constituencies. That's what makes the 12. Now, where you are, sir, here, this is where you find everything. I'm sure you know, sir. You talk of water,